Good evening, everybody. What is up on this lovely, lovely Sunday evening? I know that not many of you are here. I'm going to assume that a lot of the regulars may still be wheeling and dealing on calf, and or still, I don't know, watching part of the calf show or whatever. Yeah, but that's cool. Really quick, because I forgot last week. I don't know if you're here. Comic Art Talk. I just wanted to shout you out to say thank you for subscribing last week. I had a few new subscribers, but you were the only one whose name I could see. So thank you. And of course, I've since left you some comments on calf. So welcome and thank you. And I hope to see you come in every now and then again and chat with us from the confines of the live chat like you did last week, or was it a couple of weeks ago? So thank you. And what is up with number one Marvel fan? Gonna be fun watching both shows live tonight. Wow, you're pulling double duty, number one Marvel fan. What's up with that? All right, don't get too confused though. And my very faithful regular attendee, the Rickster, Rick Welch. What's up, sir? Good to see you. Mr. Easy Go Lucky, good to see you as always, my friend. Thank you. Evening to you, Jason Ladwig, one of the many trillion Jasons that I know in this hobby. Always a blast. And of course, to my lovely wife, thank you as always for the support. Thank you very much. CJ, what's up, sir? And of course, saying hello to the wife. Love it. I appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. And what else? Oh, look at everybody saying hello to you, Vivian, now. Look what's happening. There we go. Marcus, what's up? So who is Jason H? And does he like Looney Tunes? And oh, what's up, Karen? Have a great show tonight. Rubén DaCollector, at Vivian Chu, and chat. I can't stay for the chat. Of course you cannot. You told me. We'll definitely catch on rewind. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it, Karen. Thank you. And by the way, everybody, Karen, if you haven't checked out her page, she posted another little a 20-minute video this time earlier today. So please go check that out. She's trying to do predictions on what certain art pages and comics will be selling for. And you got to check out her outtakes at the end. Those are always a hoot and a holler. So thanks, Karen. Talk to you soon. Oh, and thank you. I appreciate it. As I did for you. What's up, Mikhail? Good to see you, sir. I bet you a lot of these guys are doing double duty tonight. What's up, Ian? Howdy, y'all. Giving a quick like and have to run for dinner. Love to support the show when you can, and I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. That's very, very appreciated. Good to see you, John. What is up, sir? Hart, as always. Hart, you ghosted me. I don't think you replied to my last message the other night. But good to see you. Happy to see you here. And thank you as always. Yeah, please, if you don't mind, everybody who's here, there's not many of you here tonight at the moment. I'm sure you're all going to be trickling in maybe in an hour or so. But yeah, if you could just hit the like, I'd really appreciate that. That would be nice. Greetings to you, Jeff. Good to see you, sir, as always, straight from Vegas. Of course, the hellos back and forth. Did you buy anything? I'm not sure who you're talking to here, Marcus, because you didn't address the question to anybody in particular. If you're asking me, the answer is no. But I will get to that because I did want to. I'm curious from all you guys. I'm actually curious. So. And also with Jason backstage, who I'm going to bring in a moment. So we'll certainly get into talking about that as well. Double duty, of course. I know that for sure. There's some double duties. I get it. What message? Must have missed it when we were talking about the potential vacation. Wasn't I the last one who sent the message to you? Anyway, check it out. Me. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Thank you, sir. Urban the Clean Shaven Lion. And please, Rick, please, like after 35 years or whatever, it's been 34 years, however long I've been a fan of the Lion. Please, God, this is the year. If there's ever going to be a year for the Lions, this has got to be it. Oh my gosh. Well, we'll see. We'll see soon enough. But barbecue tonight, but who knows? Can I catch in later? No worries, man. You're welcome anytime. You know that. Thank you, Ian. Enjoy the barbecue. Stevie B, what is up? What's good? Good evening to our culture host. Thank you, sir. And Chatty Chatters. Yes. Enjoy the barbecue. Oh, you sent one? Okay, I'm going to have to check later, Hart. Thank you. Sorry about that. Maybe I just forgot to reply to you. I don't know. I'll check later after the show. And you got 2 commissions and a page. Wow. So good day for you, or a good weekend for you, I guess, Ian. And must have been held up. We'll resend. I don't know. Maybe I got it. But if you sent it and I didn't respond to it, then I maybe didn't get it. Let's put it that way. Because I would have responded to you. Yeah. But anyways, like I said, I'll check tonight, man. I'll check tonight. We can all dream, but those Lions, come on, man. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it, Jason. Come on, man. Barry Sanders and Megatron coming back. Oh, come on, Marcus. Come on. You really think we got to get those 2 guys back? It's the only way they're ever going to be good? Gosh, you could be right, mind you, given the history. But I've got some faith this time. It's going to happen. Anyways, guys, we can get into some chatting together about the weekend and whatever else we want to chat about tonight with our friend Jay, who's been patiently waiting backstage. Let me bring him in right now. I know you guys are excited to see him.
Hello. Hey. I have to say 2 things.
Yeah.
First of all, I love the football talk. I love the football chat. I think the Lions have a good shot this year. I like the Lions this year.
All right.
And I love Merry Melodies and Looney Tunes. So yeah, love Looney Tunes.
There you go, Marcus. There you got your comment.
Answering the questions.
There we go. We get the first hello from Rick Welch.
Hey, Rick.
And Marcus is saying that the Lions drove Rodgers out of Green Bay.
They're pretty happy he's not there. I think they're pretty psyched he's in New York land right now. It gives them a good shot. I think they take over that division. I think the Vikings are going to – I'm sorry if there's any Viking fans there, but I think the Lions take that.
Well, you're certainly not a Viking or Green Bay or a Lions fan by the cap I see on your head, right? So
I'm a Jags fan. I'm the guy. They send me around, make me laugh, make it seem like there's more of us.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe in the maybe in the chat there's some guys who will jump on your bandwagon and claim to be fans as well. I don't know.
Duvals? Are there any Duvals out there?
Yeah. Let us know, people. Let us know. So we got some other hellos. Who else is here? So Mr. Easy Go Lucky is giving you a nice hello.
Hello.
And CJ, Dan C is a grinder. He's a grinder for sure, man. For sure. And my lovely wife welcoming you into the show as well.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks, hon. Greetings, Jason from Jeff Wedding.
Hello, Jeff.
And of course from CJ. So there you go.
Jeff.
So why don't we actually start with that before we get into more like personal stuff? Just sort of asking, because I want to get to with most of my guests. Not only do I the intent of the shows that I do are all about having a community, a place where the community can come out and all of their voices kind of get heard, right? I act as the proxy for the guys, the people, and the gals in the chat, and we interact with everybody so that they know they're not coming here just to sort of be attentive listeners, so to speak, But not only that, but it's also because it's a great way to also get a bunch of collectors to get to know a little bit more, about another collector who comes into the studio with me.
Community.
Yeah, a little bit more than just on a sort of completely surface level of a name on screen kind of thing, on CAF or whatever. So we'll get into that a little bit later, but usually we start with that. But I was thinking only simply because, people were talking about it. I'll start with you, Jason, but the rest of you in the chat, let me know. How was your TAF Con? I like to call it TAF Con, otherwise known as Comic Art Live weekend. And same thing for you guys in the chat. Selling or buying How did it go? How was the weekend?
It was good. I did both. I sold one page so far. My wife's actually working the phone for me. My wife's pretty cool. She's actually working the phones right now if anyone sends a message. So
Really? Oh.
And
wow.
I did buy a page too. I actually got a page. I got a page in the very first second. I saw a page and I logged in and got it right before everything crashed. So I literally bought the first second of the con, 11:01.
But what do you mean before everything crashed?
Well, they had like a I don't know if they had some issues with just it just kind of went wonky for a minute, and so like
really?
you couldn't log in, you couldn't do the searches, but I think everyone was logging at the same time. It wasn't like the site going down. It just I think everyone kind of rushed in at the same time. It's like when you go to the con and everyone runs to that one stall, like that.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I spent a good part of the weekend with Vivian because it's her birthday. But I did tune in right at the start, like everybody else, right?
Right.
Yeah. Right at 11. And I will say my experience was I had no crashing happening, but it was slow. So everything for me, every click that I did, it was about 20 seconds of loading time for it to change.
It actually went really fast. I got my first thing through, and then I had about 3 minutes where I couldn't get anything to load, and then it was actually pretty fast. But I got through, and I got the page, so it worked out.
Okay, that's fantastic. Let me just quickly address Hoarder's Hide. Scott, what's up, Scott? Good to see you. Hey, Ruben the Scan Nazi. It's because I left him a comment on one of his pieces on CAF today. The comment was not really a comment. It was just a direct link to a large format scanner on eBay because his scanner is literally putting a vertical line down every piece that he scans. But it's not just like a digital looking line that you might think. It actually makes it look like it's an engraved line, like the art paper has somehow somebody had some other paper on top of it and was putting pressure, driving.
Maybe he likes to fold it. Maybe he likes to fold his artwork before he puts it away.
Yeah, no. I know it's his. He has this crazy, enormous, gigantic roller of a scanner. It's a crazy machine. You should see it. He's got a channel. He's got a video showing how it works, and it literally it's a giant roller, and it sucks in the artwork. I'm like, I would never put my art through that. That's scary.
I would do it. That's fun. I'm not gonna put anything in there.
But anyways,
I'll lose all the word balloons.
Yeah. So that's it. That's why, But I'm trying to help you out here, Scott. I'm no Nazi. So he says also that Bill is talking about the site issues right now on his stream. Said first 5 minutes was impossible, and first 45 minutes was tough. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, that's it.
So what's up, Kavi? Good to see you, man. And let me see what else we got here real quick before I continue talking. Hello to everybody. Oh yeah, Kavi. Wow, look at this. He sold 7 pieces and he acquired 7. It's a net zero for Kavi. Wow, that's a really successful.
I just I sold and bought one, so I guess I kind of did a much smaller one.
Yeah. Right? It's a net zero for you too, for sure. That's awesome, man. No. That's fantastic. Holy shit.
Wow, that's great. Congratulations.
Marcus says that huge line going down all his images. It's his watermark.
Right.
Dude, you just need a new scanner. Sorry to tell you, man.
Or silver lining. He's silver lining it. That's good.
It's just so funny. Every piece is a yes.
It's stitched. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. So getting back to what we were saying. So for me, so it was about 20 seconds, and then finally the new page would load. But thankfully, because because it was Vivian's birthday, and I wasn't going to spend the weekend on CAF Live this time, so I figured, okay, let me do 2 quick searches, right? So that's all I did. I did a couple of quick searches. Well, sorry, not so quick searches, because like I said, every click of the mouse was about 20 seconds, and then I left. And then at only one point today, I tried again. And even today, while it wasn't 20 seconds, it wasn't super fast. It was about taking 4 seconds per click today for me. So yeah, I don't know.
It means they probably got a lot of people coming through. That's good, right? Traffic.
I mean, I hope so. I think, because that's the only thing. I'm not a huge techie myself, but I would think that typically that's usually the problem, right? It's too much traffic at the same time, unexpectedly.
Right.
And so I would hope that that's what it is, and whatever. I guess somebody, as a lot of these guys in the chat are doing double duty, listening to the other stream. Hopefully one of them is probably going to be letting us know what if Bill knows what the problems were, anyways, and we'll find out live as well.
It still worked. It's still cool that he's going to do it for us. I mean, getting an online con together like this, and he had like 4,000 pieces of artwork up before day 2 even. That's pretty cool. I'm definitely a fan of that. However it came out, going like to my computer, seeing that much art that I hadn't seen before, I was pretty sweet.
Yeah. Kavi made a good profit too. Thanks for letting us know. Rub it in our faces. Didn't pick up anything.
I did not.
I see.
So I got the 1-for-1 though.
You got the 1-to-1. He got the 1-to-1, but in terms of finances, made a good profit on the sales, but what he picked up wasn't pricey, so he's ahead on the finances, right? So that's good. That's a good thing too. So very nice, Kavi. Good to hear it, man. I'm glad you had a great show, great weekend. Number one Marvel fan saying that Jason's still a fan of the 3.U5 Marvel figures. I see, can't figure it. What is the Spider-Man piece on Jason's left? Your left. Right, so yeah, there.
The Spider-Man.
Oh, web action game. Oh, cool. I wonder where the original art to that box art is. That'd be cool to see.
Oh, I wish. That would be pretty cool.
You'd go for it for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my dad actually collects a lot of that stuff. He gets like a lot of the art for toys and art for advertising. So like, the Wally Wood figure, like those little cars that Wally Wood drew. He was he got some of those off Heritage recently, and he gets stuff like that.
Did you just say your dad?
Yes. Yes, I made him an art collector. Yeah,
I remember we spoke a couple of years back or whatever, and you mentioned about your dad. Okay, but we'll get into that once we get to your little history. That's awesome. Oh my God, yeah, that's part of the fun. So yeah, fantastic. So anybody else wanna say? Yeah, you, Marcus, you asked. How about you? Did you? I don't know if you mentioned. Did you buy or? Well, I know you never sell anything, so I wouldn't expect you to have a booth. But did you pick up anything, Marcus? And Hoarders Hide. Well, with a name like Hoarders Hide, I would imagine that you you don't sell anything, and you would not have put anything up for sale. So not a shock. CJ,
I had to start, you can see how tight this office is. I had to start selling some stuff.
Well, a lot of us do. Come on, it's all good. Most of us do buy more than we can eventually fit, or whatever. We all eventually have to sell something, whatever. Most of us, anyways. But no, CJ. Like I said earlier, you must have missed it. I was doing other things because of Vivian's birthday, and no. So I like I said, I didn't even other than checking in at the Open at 11 a.m. Eastern on yesterday, Saturday, and then today at one point, really quickly to do another couple of searches. I was out doing other stuff, so I didn't spend any time on this convention. But another friend of mine emailed me and told me that he had a good time. He said it was a pretty good interview, so I guess I'll catch it at some point, on Rewind. So what else we got here? Just bought. So you just bought on the live stream. I don't know what you mean by that. Just bought. Was there a live stream sale like with a dealer? Is that what you mean? Like, or
selling?
Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Clarify, please. Which I know you're probably already typing, and hopefully the reply is coming in soon. Marcus got a great Mannix. Oh, I see. So God, I'm blanking on his name right now.
Mannix Abrera.
No, not him. Funny enough, his name I'm not blanking on. No, his rep, Jiggy. Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah,
Jiggy Cruz, his rep. Yeah. Okay, so he was doing some kind of a live sale thing, I guess. Okay, Okay, cool. Hey, you got a piece. That's fun. That's fun. Yeah. And use a Hoarder Scott appropriate channel name. That's for sure. I haven't attended CAF Live for a couple of years. Interesting comment. Hart, why not? Obviously, that brings up the question. We got to ask you, why not? Let me know. Let us all know. Hoarders looked but didn't find anything up my alley. That's normal. I in the previous two didn't find anything, and again this time, even though I didn't spend much time with my few searches that I did, also didn't find anything for myself, which is it's good and bad at the same time for me, because like bad in the sense that it's always fun to find something new, right? But like at the same time, the Tom Grummett art floodgates opened up in the last 5-6 weeks for me, and it's been very, very expensive. And I'm talking both publicly and privately, and there's still more on the horizon, which I'm trying to figure out how to handle. So
it's probably the whole market.
What's that?
You're going to corner the market on Grummett. And whenever I see one in the wild, I'm like, don't tell Ruben you got it. I was at meet, and he did a DC area meet last week, and someone brought a couple of cool Grummett pages in. I'm like, does Ruben know you have these?
Well, look, I don't own it all. You can't own it all,
it's
right?
Cool stuff, though. It's cool stuff. Well, you can try.
But yeah, I get the ones that I like. And if I miss, whatever. I can't,
Right.
you can't say. Way more art, like I always say, way more art out there than anybody has money to buy it all, Yeah. And it's free to look. Not sure what because of Hart saying that he wasn't there. Okay, here's Hart's response. So I prefer to find pages out in the wild, part of the love of the hunt. I mean, I get that, but in the wild, when you say the wild, Hart, I mean, isn't the wild essentially just like everywhere and anywhere in the hobby? I mean, so or maybe I've been thinking of the definition wrong all this time. But I've always thought just the wild means, it's out there. It could be at a dealer. It could be with a collector. It could be, suddenly it comes up from somebody's collection at auction. And I don't know. Isn't that what the wild means? I don't know.
Well, actually, the page I just sold today, I got in a gallery in the Netherlands. There's actually some pretty small. I found there's some interesting small galleries that don't advertise too much, and they're almost like local neighborhood art places in Europe. I found a few like that have some pretty interesting stuff, And
yeah,
I just picked that up over there. He about 5 years ago. He just didn't quite know what it was. I mean, I paid a little more than he was asking for because he was asking like nothing for it. But there's some stuff out there still if you find interesting spots.
Okay. Yeah, Jason Ladwig. He means okay. This is an inside joke. You wouldn't know this, Jay, as an inside joke.
Is it by the river? Is it a van by the river?
Well, you see, Hart. Say that again clearly. Ask again one more time, Jay.
Is it a van down by the river?
You see, Hart. That's what I asked him. So when he was my guest on an episode, he started talking about this van. And I said the same thing. Is it down by the river? And he told some crazy. He told some you if you ever have time, you got to find that episode on my channel, because he told some crazy ass stories about the van and some other women's underwear and whatever. Anyways, it's just crazy. It's crazy. What an awesome episode that was.
Comic art content, I like it.
yeah. So we got now we got all these inside jokes that keep coming up from past episodes. But yeah, okay, I get it, Kavi. Okay, so comic convention. Okay, so because you're saying it is a kind of broad, phrase, right? See, now Marcus is getting on the whole van joking thing. See what I mean? It's all these inside jokes that come out now. Yeah, so I guess. So Rick says CAF Live is the wild channeled into a bottleneck canyon. That's a nice way to put it. Okay. So Hart says, more about finding the stuff directly from an artist that still have a few gems. Okay, that's very specific, though.
Done that a couple of times, yeah. That's yeah.
But okay.
You find some cool stuff.
But
that's like my Sean Gore Murphy piece. My Sean Gore Murphy piece, I actually talked to him for a bit, and I was able to convince him to sell it to me.
Who?
The one, the Batman.
You mean Sean had it and didn't want to sell it initially? Is that what you mean?
Well, he kept it initially because it was the only page that he had that had like a supernatural aspect to it, and he just didn't quite want to sell it. And so I asked if he had it, And I was just chatting, and I said, well, if you ever consider it, and I guess that it was pleasant enough that he was, he's willing to sell it to me. He realized I wasn't going to resell it. It is where it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I see. It's funny because I get what you mean by convention now, because you guys are making me think that it's more a phrase, I guess, that would lend itself better to, it's those places where you normally wouldn't think to find some artwork, right? And that would be the wild, right? That makes more sense. Okay, so I get that. But then I wouldn't, if we don't consider a convention part of the wild, then I don't think, personally, I wouldn't consider an artist, like a bunch, like artists themselves, the wild. I mean, sure, okay.
Maybe they're hard to find. Maybe if they live in the wild, they might be like one of the artists that lives in the cabin.
They're living in the bush, literally.
then you're hunting it down. Then you're putting some effort in.
Yeah. Look, even CJ says, in the bushes, mate. Hey, Dwayne's a pain. Good to see you, man.
Garage. Do you actually find garage? Have you ever found anything in a garage sale? I'm really curious. I know people look at them. Has anyone actually found art in a garage sale, like comic art, original art?
Not me.
I haven't either.
Not me, but I'm in Canada.
I'm curious.
Not me, but I'm in Canada, and here you can barely find any original art, even at comic book conventions. So,
really?
Sorry, in Montreal specifically, I'm talking about, not other part. Yeah. So, yeah,
why is that? That's it. That's true.
I don't get it. I can't even tell you. It's just the most bizarre.
There. You have like Nick Bradshaw, you have some great artists up there too. I'm surprised they wouldn't bring other artists in. Okay.
Yeah. Don't get it. Thank you, Mr. Easy Go Lucky. Thank you. Yes, everybody, please. I don't know how many likes there are because through this software I can't see that, but 17 or 18 people watching currently. If you could please hit the like button, I would really appreciate that. If not for me, please do it for my friend Jay, who after a year, when I first decided to, I had this channel already open, but I wasn't doing anything with it. And when I decided to revive it and, maybe create some content for it, Jay was one of the first guys I contacted. I wanted him on. And Jay, do you even remember that originally when I first contacted you about it, our idea was, I was like, hey, I don't know, what do you think about maybe if we get Jason, Hussa, and we do it the three of us?
Yeah, we were trying to get the three of us, and that's what made it. Yeah, that's what made it tough. We tried to get all together.
That's it. But So do it for Jay, if not for me, because after like a year, we finally got him on. So at
that's
least
cool.
do that.
We're chatting. I don't need likes. It's all right.
well, I still like it because supposedly the way it works with the algorithms, is like the more likes the video gets, the algorithm notices, if it's more than usual, maybe we will put this video in front of a few extra people that may like the content, that kind of thing.
Then like early and like often.
Yeah, there you go. So, so thank you, Mr. Easy.
The whole version of liking. Like unmarked vans have comments.
Here we go again. They're never going to let it die. Garage sales and flea markets for original art or comics? Well, I mean, I've actually seen comics, but what you would imagine. For me, it's been like junky 90s era comics that were printed in mass quantities from back in the day that are just awful. Yeah.
I found like cool, inexpensive but rare ones, like Mr. No, like just some really weird, random, like one-offs and strange and impact, like major impact, Space Ace, like really random ones that are cool but worth nothing.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah. Number one Marvel fan says that I find con sketches at comic shops a lot. Really interesting. Many are decades old. And the shop owners don't really know what the price. That's wild. That's pretty fun. That's pretty cool. You might find some cool pieces. Hey, good day all the way from Australia, my friend David. Wow. Always coming in to say hello. Thank you. And thank you again, as always, David, for hanging in and hanging out, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So Kavi's definition of the wild for himself is out in person at a place I didn't have to pay to enter. Okay.
All right. That's a wild, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So garage sales, flea markets, local comic shops count for me in that definition. Okay.
Yeah, because those small local comic shops, sometimes you find like a really cool find, like in the middle of nowhere, in a tiny little comic shop, you'll find something really neat.
Yeah.
My dad found some cool like old Superman stuff in Kentucky one time when it was at
Wow.
this random little like pawn shop, and he found some really cool comics. So you can find in weird random spots.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, it depends where you're geographically
Art
located.
sale.
You know. And look at that hoarder's hide. So Scott says, I know
Darn.
one guy who
Wow,
found 3 pages at a yard sale. I mean,
that's pretty
that's,
cool.
yeah, that's wild. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What
That's
kind of?
those.
Do you know what kind of pages or?
Yeah. Do you know what kind of pages,
Just
Scott?
curious.
Let us know if he told you what kind of pages, because I've heard of stories like that. Few and far between, though. Um, and here comes Marcus. All the maple syrup dealers control the supply line for art. Here in Montreal, do you think that's the cause of my problems of not?
They don't want the money going out. We have the big maple syrup. Big maple syrup wants to keep money in Canada.
That's funny. Okay, you know what? Thanks everybody for contributing to that. That was cool. Jay, I want to know. So typically, I usually, we kind of, the nice thing about my shows is like nothing's ever pre-planned, right? Like I don't script or plot anything. We just sort of go with the flow. And I was going to say, maybe we get into a little bit of, you can tell the viewers a little bit about yourself and all that stuff. But I'm wondering if maybe, because it is a chat show and we are going to show some art, everybody, don't worry. But I want you guys to know, I'm letting you all know right now that those of you watching, and to those of you on Rewind, thank you, by the way, Rewind watchers, appreciate you guys as well. Letting you guys know that if you remember, those of you who are regulars, I started off the channel, when I revived the channel, I started off with show and tell. And then to counteract the fact that I had a show all about based, all around showing art from people's collections and talking about that collection, I wanted to have a different show that was basically purely chatting, where, again, that was where the whole idea for me came in of, hey, maybe if I get all the live viewers to come in and interact with them and bring them in, and we can all let's just have a place to chat. And then that's why I did the Comic Art Hangout show, which used to be known as One-on-One, before I rebranded it to Hangout. But somewhere along the way, you guys may remember, early on, for the first several episodes of Hangout, it was purely chat. And somewhere along the way, I started asking my guests, hey, you want to show a few pieces? They said, oh, okay. And then, 5 pieces turned into 10 pieces for the next guest. And then, 12 to 14 for another guest. Anyways, long story short, it dawned on me that it's been at least 3 months or so since I had a week off from having to research, track down doing the research to track down the information about the art pieces that the guests send me, so that I can then make slides, turning them into slides. It gets kind of tiring. And I really would like to get back to having a show that's just about chatting, where we can all just relax, sit back and chat. So with that being said, want you all to know, and thank you. Hello, the next 5 viewers that have popped in while I started this little speech of mine. Thank you for dropping in. And there's another one. I just want you all to know, and I hope you're cool with this, but obviously, I'm always good to do what most people want. So let me know in the chat, guys and gals. I want to get back to what the Hangout, which is, tonight's episode 18 of Hangout. I want to get back to what the show was at the beginning. I wanted to return to just being a chat show where we just come in and we don't show any art, and we just shoot the shit about whatever anybody wants to talk about. Just because, again, the lines got blurred. And I just feel like, really, we already have show and tell. There's no reason for the chat show to also become a show and tell as well. But having said that, I will always ask my guests who agree to come on, hey, what style do you prefer to do? And if everybody chooses, I'd rather show art, okay, I guess you're going to see a bunch of show and tell episodes. So whatever happens, happens. I'm still going to leave it up to the guests, but I want you all to know that, yes, I'm going to turn the Hangouts back into purely chatting. So there you go. And I hope you guys are up for that. But if Yes or no? I don't know. Let me know in the chat, like I said. So getting back to what I was saying, Jay, is that I was going to say, well, so typically this is where I would sort of go now and ask you to talk about yourself a bit. But I'm wondering, just to throw things, a little monkey wrench into the proceedings, doing it a little different than usual. If it's up to you, though. I always leave it up to the guest. Would you want to get into that now? We'll talk a little bit about that, or would you like to go ahead and maybe start showing some of the art?
Whatever you feel works best. Either way, honestly,
Yeah.
A preference for how you want the show to go. I'm cool either way. If you want to just smart, I can talk about it, or I can.
Yeah, I'm cool either way. I'd like to see what these guys think. Let me take a few comments. Why don't we show a few comments? And just in case some of these guys will answer. There's a 10-ish second delay of the broadcast. So what we are saying right now takes around 10 seconds for them to hear,
Okay.
and then it takes more time for them. Like when they reply right away and they see their comments right away, but we don't see their comments right away. It also takes like 10 seconds before I see them. Yeah. Okay. So let me take a few comments. So Kavi says, my friend found a Ramita Junior Senior. Oh, the one that you have annual page in the wild at a half price books. I remember that, Kavi. Yeah. It called me. Yeah, check it out. We instantly made a deal with the store. Those things don't happen often. That's for sure. Was
it a good deal? Did you get a good deal on the page, or was it,
That's true. I forget what the deal was. If I'm not mistaken, Kavi, it was cool because you found the piece in such an odd place.
But
I think it wasn't one of those, oh, here's this $10 thing we don't know what we're selling. I think it was, decently priced, where it wasn't like some massive steal. If I'm not,
well, I've never found that. I wouldn't do it anyway, but I've never found a massive steal like a $10, Kirby page.
Right.
Never happened to me.
Right. Yeah, no, me either. So we're in the same boat for that. Good morning, my friend Mark, and here, Mark, as always, I appreciate you, Mark. Just like my friend David earlier from Australia, Mark always comes in and hangs out with us, and he's all the way in Singapore.
Oh, hey, Mark.
So, yeah, how cool is that? So thank you very much.
On the list to go.
Yeah, and good morning to you too, my friend. And he also answered my question. My show, I know it's my show, my rules. I know, but again, I want the people that, in particular, the people that come in live. I want them to be. I want them to be in on it. So I want to do things the way that you all who come in live like to do. The way you like to do things is, that's kind of what I want to go with, So that's why I'm saying that. But I appreciate the thought, though, Mark. Thank you. Comic Art Boston, traveling. We'll catch the show on replay. Have a great show. Just so you know, in case you're still there, Comic Art Boston, I saw that you already came in before the show started and left us that message, and I replied to it. So if you scroll up to the top, when you rewind, you'll see that I did reply to it. But thank you. I appreciate it. So that's why I love about having some nice friends in the hobby, even when they can't come in because they're busy doing other things. They'll still come in when they can just to say, sorry, but I can't be here to watch live. I'll catch it on rewind. I'm like, you don't need to do that. Like, don't be sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the drop.
That's awesome. It's awesome of you to do that. So thank you to everybody. A lot of the guys do that. So I really appreciate it. People email me privately just to tell me, hey, I'm not going to be able to come into your show this week. I'm like, that's cool. You don't have to do that, but that's awesome. It makes me feel great, right? Like I really appreciate that. So, so Daniel Evan. Hey, Daniel. A name that is rarely seen. Good evening to you. So both, because variety is important. So, okay, there you go. Thank you, sir. Dwayne's a pain. Maybe just have them pick 3 pieces and show off that way. I know, but you know what? That's how I got in trouble in the first place, Dwayne's a pain. That's how I got in trouble, because I thought the first time I was like, oh, well, I think I did 5 pieces. I was like, oh, just a few pieces. What's the big deal? And it just led to, oh, it wasn't that bad. Oh, a little more and a little more and a little more. So I just feel like as long as I let the guest choose what they want to do, to me, it seems like hey man, whatever you're more into, you got your choice. I don't know. I think I'd rather keep it separate. But thank you for letting me know. I'll hopefully I'll see what other people say, and we'll go from there. Hoarder's Hide. I'm up for whatever causes Ruben the most work and stress. Thank you.
More pictures.
I appreciate that. I guess I'll be making these friggin' art slides for the rest of my life now, every week without a break. Hart says, chat it up. So there's a vote for chat it up. His likes, his hates. Yeah, we'll be talking soon with Jay for sure. I like Dwayne's Payne's idea. Just a bit of art. Yeah, okay.
Everyone likes to see the art. I like to see the art. We all like the
I
art.
know.
I know.
It
was a good deal.
Okay. I'll have to keep thinking about it. It wasn't pennies. So, yeah. So, Kavi says, he didn't get a super steal. Yeah, they knew what it was. Okay. It was just, but it wasn't close to retail. But, yeah, but they knew what it was. So they knew it wasn't some junky $10 print or whatever,
Right.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a deal. It's just a deal.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good deal. Nothing more.
Exactly. So Jason says that the hates might be more. Okay, you're talking. All right. Always like seeing some of the art. Gives us a feel for what they're into. I know. But hey, guys,
start with one page and then we'll chat. If they want to, it sounds like they want to see one piece of art, they'll get a sense for my art. If you have one
no, but guys, I don't know if there's any confusion tonight. Just FYI, I don't want there to be confusion. Tonight we are showing the basic, what I've been doing for the last 3 months on the Hangout shows, which is essentially showing around half the amount that we typically show on a show and tell episode. So we are going to see you guys are going to see 10 pieces of art tonight. So just to make it clear, tonight's not the night we start showing nothing. I'm just saying that soon, very soon, I want to make this series, the Hangout series, primarily about just hanging out. But to make it clear for those of you watching, let me just say this because it kind of ties in very interestingly. So my guest next week is going to be, for the first time ever, and I've been doing this almost unofficially for a year now. For the first time since I started, revive this channel with weekly content. Next week's guest is going to be the first guest who he will be here for a Hangout episode next week. We will not be showing any art. So that will be the first episode where we revert to the original way of doing the Hangout episodes. But because even I struggled with wanting to show some of his collection because I love his collection, what I did was I said, hey, I don't know if you have time or the willingness, but if you're interested, what I would love to try for the first time ever is come back in a few weeks, and on that second time that you come back, we'll, instead of the Hangout, we'll have already done the Hangout next week. Why don't you then come back and we'll do a show and tell?
That's fun.
You know what I mean? So I figured might as well try that. This way we could find out all about him. We'll have an entire episode to just chill, relax, find out all about him and his collection. We talk about whatever we want to talk about, right, for the entire show, without having to worry about, we got to get to the art, or we got to get through all the art, and he was cool about it. We just have to. He hasn't confirmed for the show and tell episode, but it's tentative, so it's looking good. So we'll see how that goes. And we'll see what people think, So I think that might be a cool thing to do. So thank you, Rick, for the advice and your thoughts on that. I appreciate it. Came from a widow who didn't know what to do with her late husband's art. Wow, that's a sad story. I don't like to hear.
It got real sad there.
It's kind of like, it's good. It's good for you, Kavi, good for whoever got some other art, but it's kind of sad, when it ends up that way. But as long as it didn't get destroyed, I guess that's my main concern, I don't want to hear about stories where they didn't know what to do. The family didn't know what to do with it when somebody died, the collector died, and whatever. What is this crap? Dump it,
I hope that didn't happen too much.
Yeah. but it still does. Believe me, it does. Maybe not a lot, but it still happens. So Maki Poo Poo, there's another former guest and friend. How are you, sir? Good to see you.
Hello.
And you see what I mean, Jay? Check it out. Now Maki Poo Poo, sorry I'm late. Why do you? No need to apologize, man. Your time is your own.
Very polite friends. It's nice.
Very polite. Yes, I know. I love my friends, and that's why they're so wonderful. I love all these people. They're amazing. Honestly, they really are. Top 5. Okay, so Marcus is voting for top 5. Okay, I'll take it into consideration. Stanley we know Stanley would like both, and we know that for sure. Hoarders says, in all seriousness, an open forum show and tell every once in a while would be cool. I'm not sure what you mean by open forum show and tell. No slides from you. Just post the link and let people hop on and off. I see. Post the. Oh, right. Like the way Kavi is done, and some other comic book collecting guys who tend to hang out more on the comic side of things, but they delve into original art as a secondary hobby. They've done that on some of their channels where, you pop out a link or whatever, and these guys just live in the moment will jump in and out of the show kind of thing. But you know what, Scott? On this side of the aisle, right? Like most of us, and what I mean by that is that most of us here are primarily, if not strictly, original art collectors. Okay.
I got the comics over here, and I got the art. I'm the weird guy.
Yeah, but most are primarily art guys. On this side of the aisle, trust me, Scott, before you started coming in and tuning into the shows, on multiple occasions, when I did like a hangout episode and I had no guests and I was just by myself, I threw it out there. I was like, yeah, I would love it if anybody in the chat wants to just get a link. I'll send you a link and you just pop in or whatever and hang out from inside the studio. I've done that multiple times, and literally as of yet, not a single person has taken me up on it. So that method seems to work on the comic side, but so far, at least on my channel, not here. So it is what it is. Maybe 2 art hangouts a month. Well, no, but I don't want to limit it in any way, because then it forces my guests to have to do something they may not want. I'd rather leave the guests say, oh, I'd rather do a hangout and just be chill, or I'd rather show some art and let's do a show and tell or whatever. I'd rather they decide that, Kavi says, in the great words, Nike, just do it. Yeah. Well, anyways, I'll see. Anyways, like I said, next week for sure. It's just strictly hanging out and chatting. With no art. But that gentleman will be back most likely to do a show and tell as well. So, and that'll be the first time I do it, like I said. And so we'll see how that goes. We'll see if you guys like it or not. We'll see if I liked it. We'll see if he liked it, so we'll see. But, okay, since people do like to see art, before we sort of find out a little bit and let them get to know you a bit more, Jay, let's show a few pieces of art. How about that? And then we'll jump back to you.
Sure.
Okay, cool. All right, so then before I do that, sorry, because I thought I had scrolled down on the comments and I thought I was caught up, but I missed a few. Let me see. Kavi's saying about the piece that he got. Better with you than at half price books. That's true. Absolutely, of course, absolutely. Happened to a Kirby page I gave my friend. Whoa, what do you mean, CJ? You mean you gave it to your friend and it ended up getting destroyed, or are you saying somehow ended up at some flea market? What do you mean by that? I need to know that.
Put the ladder. Not the farmer.
I'm like, oh man, please don't say it got destroyed. Wow. You'll let me know in a moment, I guess.
Although you've heard the stories, I'm sure, like the stuff they used to destroy in the 50s and 60s, and it sounds like they would just throw a lot of stuff in the garbage, kill here.
Yeah. I've mentioned it on at least one of my episodes in the past. This kind of stuff that you see behind me here on my wall, 50s and 60s these are book cover paintings.
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff. Unlike comics, in the comic book industry, most of the art did survive. This stuff, there's tons of stories of the book publishers holding on to the stuff for like decades. And then in the 80s, finally are like, okay, we need space in this warehouse. What are we paying for this warehouse space we haven't used in ages? Let's get rid of this warehouse. And they like on a street corner in Manhattan, there'd be hundreds of paintings piled up waiting for the trash to come pick it up.
Or a collector's dream, someone walking by this collector that really made a huge score.
Oh no, yeah. Well, both, because I have collector friends who are into this type of stuff, who were part of some of those throwing out the paintings, and one of them sort of passed by, was like, holy shit, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah.
Oh, right. And they and this is, of course, this is the 80s, so there's no cell phones. And so they're running to the payphone.
No, there were cell phones. They were just like the size of a shoe.
Well, yeah, but only businessmen and businessmen had them. The average person could not afford them, right? So yeah, they were running off the payphones. Yeah, oh my God, you won't believe what's happening here. And they'd be calling people. They'd be calling people at the payphone from like another state over, 2 states over, like because their friends live wherever they live, right? And it's like, you won't believe the pile of stuff. Come, I need you to help. Come get this stuff. It's going into the trash. Oh my God. So yeah, certainly some guys.
I'd love to get the phone call. I've never gotten that phone call. I want that.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to happen for comic art. I know that. I think we can.
I know. I'm not going to get that phone call. Help me take all this comic art. That's not coming. It's not going to come.
We can say that. All right. Art. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's desperate to see the art. All right. Relax. Okay. Let me do a few more comments so we can be caught up. Art. Almost. We almost got there. Yeah, exactly, Coffee. It's coming. Okay. I gave a friend. Okay, so CJ says a page to Tales to Astonish 77. It was in his mom's attic. She threw it away. Oh my God. Wow. Crazy. You see what I mean, Jay? That's what I'm saying. It absolutely still happens. Who knows to what degree? Obviously, it's not the majority. It's a very vast minority. But like, the fact is, there's still people out there who are not the collectors, but they have some kind of a connection to a collector, right? And when that collector is like gone or whatever, and they may be gone for a long time, and they leave their collectibles behind, right? And so then a family member who knows nothing just, oh, what is this crap taking up space here? Whatever, garbage,
Yeah.
That's why it could still happen, That's the crazy thing in this day and age. You'd think there's no way it can happen, but absolutely.
But someone doesn't know. Yeah, someone won't know the art or the comic or the toy or whatever it is, and just like, get out of my house.
Yeah, absolutely. Scott says, I read they used to throw Disney animation cells on the floor and surf on them in the hallway before throwing them away. It's very possible. I would not doubt that. Yeah. A couple of my coworkers picked up some art pieces on the side street in New York City. Really? What kind of art pieces? Not comic art, though, right, Maki Poo Poo?
Like comic art pieces?
Some of the pieces were amazing. Come on, how could you leave us hanging? What kind of pieces are you talking about? What kind of art? I have some New York City street trash art, too. Oh, okay, but nothing comics related. Okay. Thank you again. Yes, please hit the like, everybody. Please, thank you. Appreciate it. And it was a Kirby Ramita Hulk Tales to Astonish for CJ. Wow.
Oh,
that's insane, dude.
That hurt.
Oh my God. Okay, so Maki Poo Poo confirms it was fine art. Okay. Yeah. See how we're relieved we are, Jay. Like, oh, it wasn't comic art.
Oh, just fine art. Oh, shoot. Oh, Picasso. Oh God, thank God.
That is so funny. Hart, your mom threw away your Apple II computer set. I miss that computer. I mean,
I had a Commodore 64 that my parents got rid of when I was a kid.
That's so funny. Yeah, listen, Hart, I'm sure
it wasn't really Apple though.
Yeah, I feel I feel for you, because of course, anytime somebody throws out something that you had a lot of sentimental attachment to, it sucks. I get it, but I'm happy it was the Apple computer and not some comic art or super expensive comic books or whatever.
Well, Ruben, I think I told you this story before, but my dad was a kid. He was like an early comic collector back in the late 50s. He collected very early, and he'd go to places, and his father, my grandfather, used to say, if you pay $1 for that comic book, you're not getting dinner tonight. He'd say things like that too. And so he had a huge collection, great collection. He used to get like one copy of Fantastic Four, one to be in perfect shape, one to read, and one he'd cut up and turn into like dolls and stuff. Well, they were very poor. They moved one day and they didn't tell them. They left everything behind. They moved to a new place, left everything. He had a huge collection. And he figured out about 5 years ago, he figured it would have been about a $5 to $10 million collection if he still had it today.
Oh, wow.
They threw it in the garbage, just threw it all out.
There you go. Wow. But
so there you go. I witnessed it.
So when
telling the pain I witnessed.
But whenabouts would that throwaway have happened?
That would have been in the early 60s. So
okay.
it was
okay.
But he had the good stuff. But he was getting Golden Age stuff too. So like he'd go to a place and like they had, the stuff on the racks and they'd say, oh, you like comics? And they'd take them to the Golden Age stuff they kept in a box. It wasn't really collectors per se. Some people liked it. So they had Action Comics #3, things like that. Superman #4. Like he had huge comics that he got for just
sure.
That's what he paid $1 for. Those the ones he paid $1 for. Is they're like, there's 10 cents. Buy the 10 cents in one. How are you paying $1 for a comic? It was.
yeah, for sure. I get both sides of it, But yeah, no, that you think about it. If that's the early 60s, that where they threw it out. Well, that means the majority of the stuff your dad had would have been like Golden Age stuff.
Most of it, yeah, Golden Age and all #1s. He had all #1s, all the Marvel #1s.
Yeah.
He liked those characters, and he collects a lot. So he has a big collection now, but he still talks.
Okay, so I definitely want to get to your story, and I want you to include more about the whole, your whole father and then collecting and this. So yeah, let's get to some art. So we'll satisfy the art crazies here. And,
let's do art.
And and then we'll get back to more chatting. Okay.
All right, talk about comics too. I'll stick with art.
All right. Okay, everybody. So why don't we do that then? Let us go to the first piece here to show from Jay's collection. Oh, and as I always do, I might as well tell everybody that in this case, it was me who chose the pieces for no other reason that I just, I've been trying to get Jay on the show for so long. I figured, okay, if it helps him not have to do any extra work just to come on, that's why I chose. It wasn't
bad. I just like being surprised. I just was curious to see what you chose.
No, yeah, for sure. No, I get it. But yeah, so I figured, okay, let me choose or whatever. Listen, you got a bunch of nice stuff. You collect kind of the stuff that I like anyway. So I could have picked anything really, right? So I just figured, okay, I'll pick. I'll try to pick like a scattering of stuff that represents the kind of stuff that I like, and no matter what, I could have picked other stuff. It doesn't matter, Yeah. So just try to do a little bit of a variety for all the different types of guys that are and gals that are viewing as well, a little bit for everyone kind of thing. But Jay's pretty much a mainstream collector anyway, so you kind of know what to expect. Those of you who know him, so let's start off with the first piece, and the first piece is Hellboy in Hell, #8, page 16 by Mike Mignola from 2015. Tell us a little bit about this one, Jay.
Funny enough, I actually got this one in Comic-Con walking around. Some guy was walking around and he was trying to sell some stuff and the dealers weren't getting it. It was kind of strange. And I was looking for a Hellboy piece. And so I said, can I take a look? And I bought it as soon as I saw it. But he was just walking the con floor. It was just kind of fell in my lap. I was lucky.
Wow. That's a nice way to fall into it.
Yeah.
Oh, Jay, we have a claim already. We have a claim. But the rules on claiming on Hangout episodes, since it's not a sales show, is that you get to charge anything you want, and they have to pay it.
$1 million.
See, there you go.
It's so dark. It's that's Kiddo Hellboy, and that's his sister. That's also playing a demon prostitute.
Oh, is that a demon prostitute?
Yes, it is. This was Hellboy becoming a man.
Oh my gosh!
Interesting, weird page. Kind of. He was talking about what he did when he was a kid. And
oh, really?
Weird. That's what he said in the bomb. I think that's my sister.
That's crazy. Wow. Okay. Cobby says that's a nice one, and of course it is. And hey, John, what's up, John? My recent guest, beautiful Mignola, yeah, for sure, absolutely. Yeah, I gotta say, and because I've mentioned this before. CJ says, "Demon ho, Hellboys and their toys." Yes, that's a pretty great toy when you're a kid, I guess. I salute you, John. Thanks for dropping in, buddy.
Hi, John.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, because again, I've said it before, but I know people are gonna like want to kill me, but I've never read so much as a single word of Hellboy.
Really?
Yes, and I'm
Do you like mythology? Do you like old fables and fairy tales? Is that at all in your wheelhouse?
I I did at the time in childhood, but I can't
Right.
say that I've read it in adulthood. You know, I dropped it after childhood, so yeah, I'm not into science fiction or fantasy. I'm a little bit better with fantasy, but yeah, sci-fi, fantasy kind of stuff, I'm not so into.
Not your thing?
Yeah, yeah, I can't get into it. Now, in all fairness, I've never even, like I said, never even read a word, literally, not a word. So I guess I should try it, you know?
They're very well written. He's cleverly researched. It's all based on his interest in old folklore and how he tied into the stories. So it always was with that, but the early ones especially, I like how it was, some of them read like folklore. You want this tale to end kind of a strange way with kind of a fairy tale, and it's interesting. It's very well written. I like it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, well, listen, you're not the only one who likes it, right? So
Yeah. I feel
yeah. It's been super popular since he, started it off, right? So
it's not everyone's cup of tea either, though. It's weird stuff, so it's not.
Yeah, for sure. For me, honestly, it's because I know myself and the kind of things that I will probably like or not. It's the visuals. Even though I've always been a fan of his art, when I see, when I saw the visuals, and I was like, okay, so some kind of demon looking guy. It always seems to be like it's in darkness and hell, maybe. And it's just, yeah, the visuals, the characters. I'm just like, I don't think I'm gonna like that. Like, I don't, the visuals that are there do not appeal to me, even though the art style does.
Well, he did some. There's some that he wrote that had other artists he might like. I think it was Corbin drew some that he wrote. So you might maybe like.
Guys did, yeah, a bunch of guys did, yeah. So maybe, yeah, that might be something to try someday, yeah.
But if you don't like it, I'm not trying to talk you into or anything. It's just
no, I get it. It's cool. Yeah. It's cool. But
it's good. How dare you?
What's that?
How dare you? It's so
how dare I? Yeah, exactly. All right, everybody, let us take a look at the next piece that I selected from Jay's collection. And this one is many people's favorites from Secret Wars, number 5, page 11, but not one of the deck issues. It's the one of what, 2 fill-ins, I think there was, or 2 or 3 from Bob Layton. Yeah, John Beatty from 1984.
Actually, this is John Romita Sr. too. I guess Secret Wars is plagued by time issues, and so he came in was after the first 3 issues. Zek was so just crazed with all the other work he was doing. He was friends with Layton, so Layton came in and did 4 and 5. And even on 4 and 5, they've got so many anchors, like just so many anchors. So I think it's on this one. This page is Beatty, Layton inked some himself, and Romita. Some pages are Jack Abel and Esposito. Some are Jack Nichols, Beatty. I've got one that's Nichols, Beatty, Art Adams, and I think McNolan also inked it somewhat. It's crazy. Some of the pages have so many artists are working on it.
Oh yeah, I remember. And yeah, Rick, I used to love when I first discovered my first few Secret Wars pages back in the late 90s. I used to love that they had that stamp, the fact that somebody at the office actually went out there and got a stamp made from that, that's so fun, and that is so cool. Because and it's neat because it's kind of like a double message, because everybody who is a comic fan from back in the day who read this but who never became comic art fans, right? They don't know about that. Like, they don't even know anything about that. The fact that, the original artwork on the pages at the top border has this thing stamped saying, shh, it's a secret, So it literally is still a secret to most people who read this,
Yeah, I do love that. I wonder if did they do that for any other series? Does anyone know? Like, were there any other series where they put that kind of stamp or personalized stamp for it? Was it just this?
You know what? I would think that there's probably some other special stamps made, but if there are, nothing that I could remember or come up with, from off memory. Yeah. Do you think they did it to keep it quiet? Do you think they did it to keep people from talking about it, or do you think it was? Honestly, look, your guess is as good as mine, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was just kind of like, it was at the time, it was like a big deal. It was a big project they were doing. Because, putting their whole, well, not the whole universe, but putting all the most popular characters into this one series. I just think it was something that they did for fun, just for the heck of it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, let's say, Jim Shooter told everybody, hey, we obviously got to, keep it under wraps. We want to keep it quiet as long as possible. Right. But that's what they do anyways for any kind of project that really needs to be kept secret, right? So
of course.
The whole thing about getting the stamp, I just think that was just something to do for fun kind of thing, That's my guess.
I sold one too. When I sold one to Khalil, he knows that the first thing is I did it's a secret. When I sent it to him, and when he got the page in hand, he was like, he got a big kick out of that.
but wouldn't he have already seen it from looking at the scan?
Well, he never had one before. I just meant that he was that was cool being on it. Like you're part of the secret now.
Yeah, right. Gotcha.
I just misspoke. But yeah, it just
yeah.
Just being part of it. So I just saying I sent it to him. Saying that he put it down there in the chat.
Yeah,
because the mark of when you're the collector, you've got one. It's you're in a club.
Yeah, I got you. And Marcus says he also says it's for fun. Marcus, out of curiosity, did you ever see an interview with Shooter, perhaps, or anybody who might have talked about that? Because that would be cool to just see in an interview, just to read it. From an interview, somebody involved with the project ever mentioned it. Over the years, I've read a few kind of interviews with Shooter and stuff, and where Secret Wars was brought up. But I don't remember ever reading anything about, and then we did this it's a secret thing on the original art or whatever, So it might be that would be cool to read or hear from somebody about.
I love Brand
not Brand Deck. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, so cool, very very cool page. And good thing that you have that now for a while, because it doesn't matter who the artist is. Any page from that series is ridiculously expensive now.
Yeah, I got one recently actually from the Heritage Auction because I had one page to complete my Secret Wars collection, but it was painful.
Yeah,
I had to pay a bit more than I wanted to, but I needed one page that had good beady inks. As I said, they were rushed, and issues 1 and 2 are great inks. 3 is where it started kind of getting a little bit iffy. Then 4 and 5 obviously was no Zek, and so the first 3 pages of issue 6, the inking is quite good because they had some time to work on it and they had time to work it out. And so like issue 6 has a lot of good ink, but I got the page 2, so the inking is just there's drop shadows. I mean, the inking is like really, top notch.
Yeah,
but
I
that's the last one. I'm not gonna be able to get another one again. I don't think that was the last one.
Well, at least you got it, right? So at least that.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, for sure. I remember as I was 15 at the time. And I remember, I was a huge Zek fan already because of Captain America, and I remember even as a 15-year-old, I mean, I was looking at it and I was having fun, like, wow, all these Marvel characters, awesome, so cool. But I remember being hugely disappointed because it looked like really bad Mike Zek, I remember even back then thinking like, wow, this looks so rushed, and I could tell that there was multiple inkers, but then when they finally got to the end of it, I was so happy, just because I'm flipping through the double-sized issue, and I'm like, okay, let's see, all the different inkers this time, and then I'm like, I stop at this one page, and I'm like, holy shit, that's Art Adams. And of course, I had only recently had finished reading the Long Shot miniseries, right? That I was buying fans, Right. So I became a fan because of Long Shot, I was like, oh, this guy needs to get put on an X-Men book, and he's going to become the hottest thing in the industry, And so when I saw this page in number 12, I was like, that's Art Adams. I can't believe that's Art Adams. There's no way that's anybody else. That's Art Adams. And I think he did 2 pages, maybe 3, but at least 2.
It was the sequence with the monsters when Claw.
The monsters, yeah.
There's the one. I bet you're talking about are you talking about the page that with Thing and She-Hulk? That one is like so Art Adams. There's one page.
Yes.
Because it's just like and the other one, the big monsters too. There's one page that's almost entirely drawn by Mignola and Art Adams. It was sold in auction not too long ago.
Oh, okay.
Mine has a few of them on it, but Art Adams signed the bottom. I have one page of Art Adams signed the bottom. I may have the first X-Men he did because he did Wolverine on my page, and it might have been the first X-Men he did.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, it's either way, it's cool. I mean, it wasn't cool to me, like I said, as a reader. I thought, oh, whatever. This is
art was
fun to read, but I was as a guy who's more into the art aspect of comics, even that back then, than the story. I was so disappointed. I was like, oh, this could have been so great. Like, you know what I mean? Oh,
I was literally the opposite. I was the exact opposite. I was the story guy that carried. Yeah, it was a good story. I could overlook the bad art because there's a lot of kind of so art that were written, by like Malibu or some stuff that was just, really good writing, and I enjoyed it. But I didn't know. We talked before, and I think you were a bit surprised that I didn't know the artists as well as you did. And it's been a learning process from original art because I like the stories. I love all of it. I know all about all the characters. I know the comics, but now I'd say I have a pretty good feel for a lot of the different art, and artists and styles and things like that. But it took a while. For me, it was it was a learning curve.
Yeah. No worries. We all come to it from different sort of ways, right? And
yeah.
So that's cool.
If I found original art initially, if I'd known about it, I probably would have gone original art much earlier. But even seeing it, I didn't. Funny enough, when I first saw it, I was very young. I didn't connect. I just said, "Oh, someone's drawing pages from the comic." I just a little kid. You don't think it's a dumb. I finally got to like around 15, 16, and I was like, "Oh wait, these are all the pages in the comics." And then I think I picked up like one here and then one a bunch of years later, and then I got to much later on. But
yeah. Okay, we're gonna get to that. Promise, everybody. I keep promising, so we'll get to that. Before we get to the next piece, just wanted to highlight Scott's comment here. Going back to that previous conversation of art being thrown out and finding it in various crazy places. So my buddy, what's that?
I'm reading the comment you put up.
So I actually found 4 pages at a yard sale. Superman War of the Worlds, page 18. The exact, it's the exact pages.
I love it.
Volume 2, number 1, page 18. Scion 31, page 6. Not sure what the 4th was yet. $4 a page. That's nice. Imagine.
That's a good deal.
That's it. Promises. I keep my promises, TJ.
We're going to show some art after this break.
Exactly. Yeah, at least there's no commercials. A Ditko Spider-Man 1 page, says Marcus. Yeah. You got one of those in the trash or in the at the flea market, Marcus?
I wish.
I wish, yeah. But for $4. Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at the next piece, everyone. And with that, we go to this piece.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to do a little bit of a fun thing with Captain Carrot, and because I've always been a lifelong or hobby-long, if you will, Alfredo Alcala fan, and I thought it was not only because, Captain Carrot's fun, but I thought, hey, how interesting that this was Scott Shaw's creation, but for this issue, they got Alfredo Alcala to pencil it, where usually he's the guy they bring in. Okay, come and ink this for us, and Scott inked it, so that's so cool.
And it's if you look at you can't see it obviously, but the page is a page on top of another page. I think that Scott Shaw started drawing it, and then they changed their minds and they brought in Alcala. And instead of getting a new, page, they cut an entire another page out and taped it on this page with just a little cutout at the bottom that you can see.
I see what you mean.
And the Ardillo. It was a really strange setup. It's a great looking page, and personally, I like it, but it's just. You have to be careful. It could fall apart. There's 2 pages, taped 2 together.
Yeah. I know what you mean, Jay. All you got to do if you find that the glue is drying up, and when you hold the page in your hands, if you feel like any of the panels on the edges are lifting, get yourself some acid-free stick glue.
I've got some back there. Actually,
you got it back there. Okay, yeah. So you know about that. So that's it, and that's all you need, and it's fine. I've had to do the same thing for similar pages, because that was a common thing back then, right? That was one of the ways that they made corrections and whatnot, So, Alcala absolutely rocks, Rick. Yeah, I'm a big time fan, always have been. So, yeah, I love that. And it's just so wild that Alcala penciled a Captain Carrot issue. It's such a bizarre choice,
Yeah, but, and And I like it too. I was a huge fan when I was a kid, and my daughter was into it as well. And we just kind of got together. They signed to the both of us.
Yeah, yeah. And I wanted to make mention of that. I see it says to Jason and Maddie, best wishes, Scott Shaw. I was like, oh, that's so cool that you have Maddie, on the page at the bottom along with your name as well. So
yeah, I knew I was never going to sell. I really like this, and I don't usually get anyone to sign the pages, especially not personalized to me.
Yeah,
just in case you sell it again or something like that. You don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
This I'm not going to sell.
Yeah. I got you for sure. Yeah. I totally agree as well. I'm in the same line of thinking as you with that. Where that goes. What do you mean by original tape, CJ? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out.
I'm trying to figure it out, but let us know. TJ says, I almost bought a Captain Carrot page today. None of the main characters though. Well, that's why it was an almost purchased the Captain Carrot page today, I guess, TJ, right? Because you realize, well, it doesn't have any main characters. Yeah, I think I'll pass on it. But yeah, they're fun.
I actually have this issue, so it was a no-brainer for me. I actually remember the page, and I let my daughter, tear it apart. She destroyed it too when she was a kid. So, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah. CJ is saying, okay, by original tape, you mean Daredevil joke? What do you mean by Daredevil joke?
Dueling Dealers, maybe?
Okay. Dueling Dealers joke? Okay, yeah. One of those inside jokes. Okay. All right, got you. Original tape. Okay, I don't know that one.
Oh, is it the original tape? Did you change the tape out? Is the original tape from the because they cut it up and tape it together? Is it the original tape from when they did it, or did you replace the tape when they took? Okay, I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Okay, TJ, exactly. Okay. Marcus says though that the pages with the non-main characters are more rare because they only appear a few times.
That's true.
That is true, but do you want?
That's a good point. Actually. Yeah, that's a great point. Actually,
it's a good point, but it comes down to, well, are you more interested in the characters you like, or are you more interested in having a collectible that's more rare, just the rarity aspect of it, right? I would think for most people, probably like TJ, was about, well, yeah, I'd like to have some better characters on it or whatever, and yeah, I'm not concerned with the rarity or whatever, But thank you again, as always, Mr. Easy Lucky. Yeah, please, everybody, please, if you haven't done so, please.
Back to you, man. Right back to you.
Hey, who doesn't remember that? We're all getting kind of old. We should all remember that. Hey, yeah, Mr. Easy Lucky says, great page. Yeah, it's a really cool page.
Thank you.
I thought it was fun, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna show something fun.
I have a Fonzie story. If you want to tell you a really quick story.
Yeah, for sure.
It was when I was a little kid. I had just met him randomly, and he was a very nice guy. And I met him.
You met Arthur Fonzarelli?
Yes. I met Arthur Fonzarelli just randomly. Henry Winkler. Okay. He was just randomly met him. He was a really nice guy. I like kids, so he would talk to me, and I was talking to him, and I said hi, and I asked him when his birthday was, and so I sent him an autograph of me for his birthday. I sent him an autograph picture of myself with a note, and he liked it so much he sent me back another autograph in this huge long note. He got such a kick out of it. It was really? Like he said, no, never does it. Yeah, it was this weird thing. I was like, he'd like this, and I don't know why I thought he'd like it. I was like 8, But he got a kick out of it. So he sent me back this huge long letter. He's like, I loved your autograph picture. I had a great birthday. And he told me what he did. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
Nice guy. So anyway, that's it. Super nice guy. He's nice.
That's fabulous. You must still have that.
I do. I'm not sure. I'm digging out right now if I knew exactly where it was, but my room's a mess.
That's all I need to know, man. One day you should, even though it's not art, post it in your gallery. That'd be cool.
Oh, okay. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I will. You know what? I will. I'll put it up next week. I'll put that.
Or at the very minimum, email it to me so I can see it. How about that?
Yes, I will. It's funny. It's he got a kick out of it.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's a cool little anecdote. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I love the stuff like that. That's why I love the chat shows, because we have so much more time to we can segue into all sorts of crazy things, and it doesn't matter, And TJ's confirming to Marcus and obviously to all of us that he was interested in seeing the Captain Carrot or the Zuckeroo. So there you go. He cares more about that than the rarity, Marcus. What are you going to do? Mark says, don't forget to watch the penultimate episode of Barry. What is that?
The TV show Barry. I'm going to stream that one. I have not seen that one yet. That's on my list of ones to watch start to finish.
Okay, I don't watch TV for the last couple of years. I haven't been watching network television. So it's because it's a Henry Winkler a show? Is that?
Oh
what
no,
it is?
no, no. I think the final episode's tonight. I think. Is it tonight?
Oh, you're mentioning
Mark's phone will tell us. I think
Okay.
episode.
Yeah, Mark, let us know. Although he's saying now that Henry Winkler rocks. Okay, but that doesn't have anything to do with Barry. This Barry show.
Henry never jumps the shark. He'll never jump the shark. That guy.
That's funny. All right, everyone, let us go on to the next piece of art to show here. From Jay's Cool and Fun collection. Oh, and I might have owned this one at one time.
I wanted to ask you that, actually, because I know you've owned a lot more art than I realized in having discussions with you. How many of my pieces have you owned in the past?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to go through your gallery and sort of see if there's a list that could. I don't know.
But you did see. But you've had this one. You did see. You own this one. Is this the?
Well, you don't know what's coming up yet, though, right?
I might.
You don't know what's coming up. Okay, well, we'll see in a second, anyways. But I'll tell you in a moment. Usually I remember, but sometimes I'm like, wait, was that because it was in my collection and that's why I remember it, or is it because I've had the scan for this for 20 years and I've seen it multiple times? So, you know what I mean? Right. And maybe that's why. But it was never part of my collection because I've spent 20 whatever years just saving scans to my hard drive because I just want to. I like them and I just want to keep them on my hard drive. You know.
About a year ago, I tried to sell a comic I didn't own. I didn't realize I didn't own it. But
really?
It didn't happen. Yeah, because I just didn't realize I didn't feel in that part of the collection. I meant to for years. I just swore I had, and I was going to dig it out and be like a part of my stack of things to sell for art. And I was like, where the hell is it? And I realized I didn't have it. It was just completely in my
wow.
Head.
That's crazy.
So just kind of what you were saying. Same thing.
Yeah.
It was a Phantom comic. It was a Phantom comic. I didn't have it.
Yeah, it's wild, you know. Oh. So before we go to the next piece, so Barry is about Henry Winkler because hey, Mike, what's up? What's up, Mike? Good to see you. I hope everybody, by the way, really just a quick segue. Mike NSN Art was my guest a couple of weeks back. It wasn't, you know, he's not a mainstream collector, but I hope everybody enjoyed it. And those of you who watched, I hope you enjoyed the fact that we brought something quite different to what we normally bring. It was a lot of fun having you, Mike, here, and Mike said he enjoyed it. So, great fun, and I appreciate it again. So thank you very much, man. So Mike is saying that Winkler is a character on that show, Barry, that Mark mentioned. So clearly, Jay, you are not watching that show, Barry.
No, I'm a stream. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
No, I'm going to catch it at the end. I just said it was ending this week. I thought he's mentioning just because it's ending. I saw the show's ending. So.
I got you. Rick wants everyone to know that Captain Carrot is greater than Cutie Bunny. I don't know nobody I know collected or read Cutie Bunny, whatever. So I would agree with you. Mikhail says that Henry Winkler is great. I've always loved him, of course, because of the Happy Days and on subsequent things that he's done. And so he says that, and he's on the show. Yeah, thanks for confirming it and making it official. Yes, thank you too, Mark. He's in Barry. Okay, so now we know why it all got brought up. I was confused. My confusion only stemmed from the fact that when Jay said, "Oh no, I haven't watched it yet," I thought Jay was only referring to this last.
Oh no, I'm the whole series. The way you stream it, I'm gonna watch the whole thing in like a week or so, probably. But.
Right. Which is, of course, why I was like, "Well, what do you mean? You just said you've watched everything but the last episode. How do you not know this guy's on the show or not, or whatever? You know?"
Like, that's right, he was on the show. No.
Yeah. That's so funny. Great art is stored in the hard drive of our heads. That is true, Mark. That is true. Save scans like some people save a certain kind of internet pictures. Oh, bad one. Good one, but bad one. CJ, I can see by what you carry that you come from Barrytown. Okay, that must be an inside joke from the show.
We're getting the quotes now. I think we're getting the Barry quotes.
Yeah. All right. So now let's move over to the next piece of art, everybody. And with that, we will go to the incredible Hulk.
Oh, you have
number 256, page 20. This is the first appearance of Sabra, and it is from 1980 by Pencils and Inks, of course, Sal Buscema. And I don't know. I know that I used to own the cover, so that I wouldn't forget, right?
Did they cover this?
Wow. Well, not anymore, but I did at one point. and a friend of mine has it now. But I had a few pages as well. I just there are so many of the pages, like I said, over the years I saved to my hard drive. So I just, yeah, some of them, they look familiar, but I'm like, I'm not quite sure. But no, I think this was one that I did not own before you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But very, very cool page. And I just want to tell you, before you tell us all a little bit about it, that what I was in love with the Hulk. I mean, the Hulk was my first kind of love when I started reading comics. And I remember this was a back issue for me because I started in '82, right? So a couple of years after this.
Right, yeah.
But it was one of my earlier back issues that I picked up because I was trying to work my way backwards from my first issue, which was 272,
Okay.
less than 2 years later. And yeah, when I worked my way backward and I got this one. I mean, as a 12-year-old, I was like, wow, I was so amazed that like they brought in, like, I didn't really listen to politics as a 12-year-old. Like, I don't know, or watching the news about that. Like, it bored me at that age. If it was on TV on the news, I would leave or turn the channel, but I was aware of, certain conflicts going on in the other parts of the world. And so when I read this, I was like, wow, this is like that stuff that I've seen them talk about on TV, So yeah, it was just the fact that it was so topical. I loved it. I loved it. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead and tell me a little bit about this.
No, I loved it for the same reasons that you loved it too. I'm a Jewish man, and so for me, I like collecting kind of Jewish characters here and there. And I also liked how it handled it. I liked how it handled saying neither side was, right, that no one's going to win this battle. So I was always a fan of the fact that it seemed like Sal got, the conflict and how it was going to end. And also, I like Sad Hulk too. I just like Sad Galactus. It's kind of a different look for the character, and so I just kind of like that last panel. The most I got, I really want to get a Sabra page. I'm a big fan. There's some, Sabra, Thing, Ragman. I've got like a few different pages from different, Jewish superheroes and heroines. I don't make it a main focus, but it's definitely something I like to pick up when I can.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, why not? I mean, it's a cool little sort of subset, if you will,
Yeah, and it speaks to me too. And I like the page. I like the layout of the page too. I like the cop shooting at the Hulk. They're always shooting. It never does anything, but they're always shooting something at him, and he's always just jumping away from them. I just like the layout of the page.
Yeah. I don't know. It's great. I love it. Like anybody else, like most people, when I was collecting, a couple of decades back, and I was, for a few years, I was focused on Incredible Hulk artwork. To get the cover to the issue and some pages to this issue, it meant so much. It was just wow. It felt so great. Like I said, I think this was for me one of my. It may, because it's been so long, so I can't say for absolute certainty, but it may have been the very first time that in comics I read something that had to do with topical events going on in the world, serious events. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I probably could say the same. Yeah, I think it might have been the same for me as well, because I got that as a back issue also really early. So it could have been the same for me, actually.
Yeah. Our good pal David in Australia wants to send a message to say Mazel Tov, Jason. My wife is a Sabra. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Wow. And by the way, is the actual, I would imagine, because of the accent, the way they speak in let's say Israel or Israel, it would be Sabra, right? Not Sabra. Like that's more anglicized, I would think.
Right, I think you're right. Yeah. I'm not even trying to kill it by trying to pronounce it, but yeah.
Yeah. Because as a kid, of course, I said, "Oh, Sabra, cool, cool." I didn't know.
I think people like Sabra, yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't know what it meant, right? So I was just like, okay, I don't know what that means, but cool name. Okay, Sabra, yeah, Sabra. And then, of course, as I got older, I kind of, and I learned more about other cultures, other backgrounds. Then I realized, well, no, in that part of the world, they wouldn't be pronouncing the A as the sound A, right? You wouldn't be saying Sabra if you're Israeli, so I figure it's Sabra, Sabra.
Right.
So yeah, very, very cool, man. Yeah, very good. Hey, Mark V in the house. That's a nice touch by Sal to integrate his signature with the speed lines.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
where he's signed there too. I like when he picks the right spot. You know, whenever the lines or if there's an energy line, sometimes he picks a good spot to sign it.
yeah, yeah. Often, most often not. Unfortunately, I'd like to say, or I don't like
Yeah,
saying it, but I have to say it. But yeah, that. At least that one was kind of it's parallel
right.
to the
Yeah,
line. So
sometimes a little bit. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree
yeah,
with you.
yeah. So that's what I always hated about Sal signing the. Well, look, let's be honest. Most of us don't want the artist signing inside the live area, the 10 by 15 live area, right? But if you're going to do it, can you at least find a spot where it's going to be left to right and not up, down, and going up?
Yeah, like
Sideways.
he did a lot of them on the inside of the
Yeah,
panels.
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot. It's like, what? Why? But
Yeah.
whatever. It is what it is.
He was clever. I mean, he came up with an idea. It looked great once or twice, and then he just started forcing it inside every time, probably. Yeah.
Probably. So TJ is wants to know, do you have any pages with Seraph from DC?
I don't have a lot of DC pages. I'm actually going to try and correct that a bit. I've always been more of a Marvel guy and Marvel Zombie. And so I've got, you've seen, I've got some DC pages and I've been trying to kind of branch out a little bit more, but that's probably next. That's probably next, just to balance my collection. I like everything to be a bit balanced. So just to balance it out, I'm probably gonna have to move into some DC.
Yeah.
But sir,
You must have some DC.
yeah, no, I do have some DC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just over the balance is overweighted to Marvel, obviously, right?
Wildly, very much so.
And it makes total.
Yeah,
it makes total sense though. Like it's we are who we are. We're buying the stuff from what we liked reading back in the day or today or whatever. I mean, if you were more of a Marvel guy, then obviously your art collection is going to reflect that, right? It just makes total sense.
right.
Yeah, and likewise, if grew up with more as a DC reader, right? So same thing, right? Scott says Dan Spiegel was the master of integrating his signature into the artwork. I did not notice that. Is that true? I was never a big Spiegel guy, to be honest. So, I mean, I've looked at his stuff. I never collected it, but that's interesting. That's an interesting thing to say because now I'm going to be looking for that when I see Spiegel pages being posted out there. So thank you. I appreciate that, Scott.
I've always liked some of the artists that put it in like say they'll carve it into a stone or something like that. Like instead of just signing or even signing the artwork, they'll actually work it into the image. So there'll be a signature there, but it'll be like dug into the ground or like carved into a tree or something like that. I've always liked the artists that have done that. It's not all the time. Random.
I agree. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so before we get to the next image, everybody, let me just take a quick moment to remind everybody that just as my show is always on Sunday nights at 8, first, I want to say right now, here and now, try to remember, if you're not subscribed, you need to sort of remember this because you won't get a notification, I guess. But if you hit the notification bell, then I guess you'll get a notification. Next week's episode, hold on, not next week's, sorry, in 2 weeks from now, but I'll remind you guys. A couple of weeks from now, actually, let me look at my schedule here. Yes, on the 4th. So not next week, but the week after, 2 weeks from now, my episode on the 4th of June is going to be 1 hour later. So it'll be starting at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. But like I said, I'll remind you guys again next week anyways. Aside from that, just a quick reminder as well that just as my shows are always Sunday nights, so too is Nikki B's show, The Original Art Experience, on Friday nights, always at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. It is for those of you, again, most of you know, but of course I have to remind you rewind watchers, who I know a lot of you are often the first-time watchers. If you like to buy art wherever you can find it, then this is another venue where you can do that. Check this out. This is Nikki B on the left-hand side. That's Amy Raniello on the right side, hidden by the giant graphics. But at least the giant graphics serve to remind you what time it is on. And it is an art sales show that is very laid back because it is what you could call a art sales / chat show. So a lot of chat happens and not a ton of art sales, but it's a mix of both, and it's a lot of fun. And yeah, so check that out. Nikki B is the host on that one. Again, and that can be found, of course. Let me pop this up for everybody in case you are seeing this for the first time. That can be found here on YouTube, youtube.com/theexp. And so, yeah, very easy to remember. And that stands for the original art experience. And that's what the EXP is for, experience. All right. So there, tune in this Friday if you can. Okay. And let us.
There's some cool art right there. That Submariner cover is pretty cool.
In the background.
Yeah,
I see you looking for, but I got to say, that's an old picture. So don't be looking for that. It's gone. No. But, what do we got here? Oh, and thank you. Speaking of Nick Barucci, where we all thank you for also helping out Mr. Easy Go Lucky and rallying the likes. Thank you for getting to 30. Thank you, everybody, for hitting that like. I appreciate it very much so. And Mikhail says that Jay Lee also does an integrated signature on his larger commissions.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true. That I know. That's very cool. Thank you again for dropping that knowledge. For those of you who don't know, these are kind of fun things that you can look for now when you look at those people, those artists' pieces, you know? Very much so. Nick's show is a Friday fun fest. Exactly. Thank you also, again, as always, Mr. Easy Go Lucky. Really appreciate it. Yes, please hit the likes. Keep hitting the likes if you can, if you haven't done so, everybody. Really appreciate you. Yeah, CJ, Nick only pretends to sell art, right? That's an inside joke because somebody, again, I still haven't heard. Marcus, where was it? Somebody was online somewhere because Jay, I'll tell you for your benefit. A couple of weeks ago, Nick on one of those Friday shows, he broke up a very recent Spider-Man book by Mark Bagley, and the prices on the pages were we would call expensive, right? They're high. I don't mean it's not value, whatever. They're worth what they're worth, right?
They call it aspirational.
Yeah, but some people will say aspirational. But here's the thing: some people were thinking that, and then what happened was he had like an almost sellout during the show. I think only one page hadn't sold, which he subsequently sold days later. And then what Marcus said was he said, "Oh, somebody out there, I think he said Facebook." Somebody was on Facebook claiming, "Oh, those aren't real sales. Those couldn't have been real sales or whatever." It's like
real sales.
Like, what did you think? Like, you think this guy is going to put on a sales show and he's going to pay off everybody who comes into the live chat to pretend that it's really happening and claim the art?
Does he keep the art? What would be the benefit? Yeah,
right. Like it's so stupid to even think that wasn't real. I can't. Yeah. Like I said, when Marcus brought that up last week, I was like, oh my! I went to Facebook. I'm looking for it. I couldn't find it, so I wanted to see that guy's post. I wanted to see exactly what he said because I was like, I couldn't believe somebody would say something so stupid, right?
Yeah, that's strange. Yeah, how do you fake a sale?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Marcus is saying that Spider Boy show wasn't. Oh, okay. He's repeating according to Facebook. So it was on Facebook. Again, I was on Facebook looking.
Spider Boy is it the new Spider Boy book? They break. That's the new character, right? I think I saw.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, and like Marcus says, exactly. It's not aspirational when you realize the prices.
100%.
Exactly. Yeah. So there we go. So yeah,
that's a new price. That's a new price point. That's not aspirational. That's a new point.
That's it. Exactly. And CJ says when he sells the same pages next week on the show, then we'll know that it was fake. Yeah. Nick would know where. What? Why is it a secret? I mean, if it's somebody did that publicly, does it really matter that you would tell me where exactly to find it? But anyways, whatever. Honestly, I don't give a shit. I was curious because you brought it up. I figured I'd go and read it in my own. I needed to see it in my own eyes, with my own eyes, and to see exactly how he phrased it. Whatever. But ultimately, do I give a shit? No, I don't give a shit. Whatever. Move on. And there's a lot of people in the hobby that just whatever. They're always negative about everything that they don't like. Whatever. You got to stay away from those people, and that's it. So there you go, everybody. That was a great sale by Nikki B. a couple of Fridays ago, and that's it. So you never know what's going to pop up or what he's going to sell on a Friday night on the EXP. So tune in and find out, and subscribe if you can, and hit the like button, like you hopefully do hear from me. Thank you. Let's go to the next piece, everyone, and show. Let me see what we got here. What's this? Oh yeah. Oh Jay.
What is this?
Oh yeah, because I'll tell you why in a second. You can tell me. So check this out. Astonishing Tales, number 2, page 26, by Wally Wood. Not only because I love, like a lot of us love Doctor Doom, but there's something, I don't know, there's something just, it's so cool. I always found so cool about this era because he didn't make, I don't know how many appearances he made with it, but that whole backpack, the backpack that makes him fly, right? Like, I don't know how many times it appeared, but I just love it. It adds a really cool dimension to it. And I love that guy in the second to last panel who, can you confirm, is that the orb? Because he looks like,
that's the orb.
That's the orb, right? Okay, because he looked like there was this guy called the Orb, who I remember from an early issue of Luke Cage, Hero for Hire. Okay, that's him. Okay,
yeah.
And by Wally Wood,
that is the same character.
Yeah. And pencils and inks, Wally Wood. So what the hell? Why not, man? So talk to us a little bit about this one, man.
Well, I actually found this from another collector that stopped collecting a long time ago, and I had a relationship with him. He's the same person I got my Jack Davis EC page from, the horror page. But he's the same collector, Alan Elgert, a really nice guy.
Okay.
But I liked it a lot because I like my pages kind of do double duty, and I wanted Wally Wood, and I really am a huge EC fan, and I knew that it'd be difficult to get one of those, and so I just kind of felt like this page was both Marvel content, and if you look at the panels 3, 4, 5, it looks almost like EC content. It's kind of like the sci-fi content, and so I just felt it was kind of like a two-tone page.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah. No, I mean, everybody's loving it for sure. I mean, what's not to love? Rocketeer Doom.
And they started moving under it. For a while, if you look at some of the stuff, they actually put it under like a cape, and they put it under the robe to kind of get rid of it, and then it just disappeared. But for a while, you'd see the jetpack come out from underneath the clothes, and then it just disappeared. And I guess they put it on his feet like Iron Man to, just make him similar.
Yeah. You're probably right. CJ loves all the pages.
Thank you, CJ.
And Mike says, "Man, Doomlarian." Mike's apparently a Star Wars fan, I guess. TJ says,
that was really good.
Nick is okay. We're going back to Nick. Nick has shown such generosity to the community. There are people that try to take advantage of it. Oh, sure. Like I said, there's all kinds of people. Whatever. Like I said, the best thing we can do is you just avoid them. Stay away from them. Don't think about it. Don't pay it much attention, because then it can burrow itself into you, and then you start sort of feeling bad, and negativity gets inside you. And it's
not worth it. It's a hobby. It's a fun hobby. It's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be tearing each other down or killing each other for that page. It's not what it's about.
Yeah, exactly. Marcus says that unique with the Knights and Castles style, like in Prince Valiant. Yeah, it's cool. I can only imagine that, because I never read it, but I imagine the story is taking place in Latveria. Is that why you see it? Because that's probably Doom's castle, right?
Yeah, that's Doomstat, Castle Doom.
Okay, yeah. That makes total.
Yeah, they have Doom's on the bottom right panel. You can see a bit of Doomstat, and it's Castle Doom.
Oh yeah.
And they're trying to lure him out. So there's people basically at the gates trying to lure him out, and they try and come in and take over the castle behind him. And that's why he's doing the quick Yui at the end to fly back and get the people that infiltrated his castle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fantastic. For sure, Nick. It's for sure. It's a great community for sure. CJ says, and of course, because you got your, especially without the color, because the color I'm not a fan of. Way too much yellows happening there. But one. He says that this could be from the late 50s. Yeah,
exactly. That's set. Really, the way the layout is, 100%. It really does have kind of his early layout. I felt like he used this to kind of get back to some of his earlier work or something, but it does feel like he was doing, just tying it back to what he used to like doing early on, I guess.
Yeah. That's, and I think that's why CJ's saying that, right? Because it's kind of similar, because it's got that very sci-fi look to it right? So it reminds me for sure of and obviously CJ of some of that stuff he was doing in the sci-fi books for EC Comics back in the 50s, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, very, very cool. Yeah,
brushwork, and it's so dark too. When you look at it in person, that those inks are just black. It's the way he put it down is just so nice. It's just really nicely laid down ink.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So kudos to you for having that page.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome for sure. All right, so from there, everyone, let us go to the next piece, and this one is Deadman by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, and this one was mine.
I know we discussed it, yeah.
But it was mine. However, from me to you, if I remember correctly, wasn't this one me to you via auction?
Yes, it was by auction. You told me I used to own this one.
That's right.
I was really excited to get this one too. I was looking at one for a while, and I love the way he can. It's so many panels, and it just still looks so fantastic. He was just such a just an amazing artist.
Oh, it's brilliant. I love the very even, evenly drawn layout of the 12-panel grid. You know, the 9 panels is already fairly rare, but 12, wow. Yeah, all the same size. I mean, I love that. It's it just makes the storytelling so much more not unique. Well, it's a slightly.
Well, you get the whole story here. You get the whole end of the story. It's like he really worked it in. So even if you only have this page, you know the whole story.
Yeah, very much so. And I want another little element artistically that I really loved about this piece was that, do you notice, because you look at it quickly and you're like, oh yeah, of course, Garcia Lopez, he has done quite a few pages, especially in this series, where he used sorry,
the crafting.
Yeah, exactly, right. But did you notice, for some reason, he restricted it only to the top 6 panels, and he didn't do it in the bottom 6 panels. You know,
I think it was the haziness, maybe, because he was trying to get like if you look at it, there's kind of a haze to the first.
Oh, true.
And I think they've let that darken. I think he wanted to get an effect, and if you look at the other, like the printed, those panels are a little bit darker, and I think it helped him achieve that dark effect. Maybe it's hard to say, but I like the way he did it though. It's clever.
Yes, no, it's very, very, very cool. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, it's beautiful, and I love the 3rd and 4th panels, just the way he's getting his posture, getting up onto that, climbing the ridge, and then in the 4th panel, just crawling the way he's crawling, and then the way he's shadowed in the 5th panel, and he's coming towards you. He looks very imposing and scary like that. I mean, it's just really, really cool. And Rick says, deadly page.
Thank you for letting it go. I really love this page. There's another one.
No, yeah, for sure. Beautiful. So I'm a big Garcia Lopez fan, and I'm glad to see it. It's always fun, like when I see that anything that I let go through the auction process, I always find it it's kind of a trip, right? It's kind of fun to see that, oh, now it appeared in the gallery of one of my friends, like it's just
where's it now?
It's fun. It's fun. So that's very cool. And I had to show it only obviously I wanted to show it because I love it, but it also is kind of cool that it does double duty as one of the rare DC pieces. I figured I had to show some DC. And that was part of the reason I also wanted to show the Captain Carrot, not just because it was a fun page, I was like, I gotta get a couple of DCs in there,
Yeah, there's a few. There's there's stuff I like. I mean, I like Marvel and DC. It's not like I only read Marvel, but just
for sure.
Marvel, the characters are greedy, and it just really did grab me when I was a kid. Thing, Wolverine, and Silver Surfer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I totally get it. You don't even gotta explain. Hoarder's Hide. So Scott says, I love these multi-panel pages like this. I have two 16 panel pages. Oh, from Andrea Muti's Bunny Mask, and they are some of my favorites. Yeah. Those are cool. I know which ones you're talking about.
How big is it? Like a really big page, or is it really little panels?
Yeah, I forget, because Scott has a bunch of that the art from Muti's Bunny Mask series, and he did like different series, and they varied in size. So remind us, Scott, remind us those particular ones with the 16 panel grid. Remind us, let us know what if those are regular size, or bigger or smaller. I don't know. You never know.
That'd be crazy if it was smaller.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Much harder to get through and draw, right? So, So no, that's fun. And FYI, that's also that's 2 DC pieces now, out of the total of 10 that we're showing tonight. But it's still not my last one. In fact, everybody, for those of you interested who like DC more than Marvel, especially, we are going to end the show and tell portion of the show with a DC piece, not a Marvel piece. So that's all I'm going to say for now. And the look on your face, Jay, was like, what the hell's he talking about? What do I have that he would save for last? That's DC? What?
I have an idea.
Well, you should now. I think you should now. But we'll get to that soon. We're getting it. We're working our way through because there's not, like I said, guys, only 10 pieces tonight. So it's not a ton. We only have a few more to show. Look at that. See, so Scott confirms smaller than.
Smaller. Wow.
Yes. Oh, and check this out. Crazier to think because they are watercolor panels.
There's 16 watercolor panels on a smaller page. Wow. Okay.
That's nutty, man.
I'll have to find these on there. I want to check these out.
I remember that I've seen them right in Scott's gallery, and Scott was one of my guests, a month or two ago, a couple of months back, on this show, and or on a show and tell episode, and so I wanted to show some of that bunny mask art, and so I remember the ones that he was talking about being colored. I didn't remember what size they were, so but that's why I said, or let us know if it was maybe even smaller, because I do remember some of Muti's artwork being smaller. Just don't remember if it would have been the ones that had those billion panel pages, which is crazy. So,
yeah, the 16 panels, that's blowing my mind.
Yeah, that's really nutty. Yeah, CJ, exactly. Insanity, absolutely. Good word for it, Marcus says, going to the extreme makes the art more appealing.
That's true. When you pull it off, yeah, certainly.
If you can pull it off, yeah. Absolutely. Okay. All right, everyone. From there, let us go to the next piece. And from there we have. Oh, sorry. Here we go. A killer Jack Kirby, Vinnie Coletta, Journey into Mystery 123, page 28. From obviously, which when it's page 28, it's from the backup story. It's page 4 of the backup story. Page 28 of the entire book from 1965. Yeah, man, talk to us about this. This is killer. And by the way, just say it really quickly. I am one of those guys who loves Vinny over Jack on Thor.
Yes, he did a really good job. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Vince Clay, but I love the work he did on Thor too, especially with Kirby. It looks nice. But I actually got this from Berkey. I was right place, right time. He just bought a book from somebody. He bought the whole book, and I talked to him. He was thinking about splitting it up, and I didn't have one. I somehow talked him into splitting up, and he let me pick a page. But I was really lucky. I was able to actually pick out whatever page I wanted.
Oh, that's cool. Wow. And
the upper right panel is actually a Marvel Mania toy. They use that for the blow up Thor pillow.
Yes. I was like, I know that image is familiar to me, and I'm thinking it's not because I remember this issue so clearly. It's because it was used somewhere, but I couldn't remember where. So thank you for dropping that knowledge on us, Jay, and reminding us where it was used. Yes, the pillow, exactly. In fact, wouldn't there have been what I'm in my mind? I never saw the pillow. I'm picturing the advertisement. Wouldn't it have been an advertisement for that pillow?
I put it on my site. I'd love to find it someday if there is one. Okay. But yeah, there was an advertisement, but I'm sure it's gone. I mean, it's probably all stat art, and so it probably got thrown away right afterwards. But yeah, I would love to get my hands on it if it's out there anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's really, really cool. Hoarder's Hide. Scott says that is definitely killer, even for Kirby. Oh, them's fighting words, but he's giving a wink, so he's letting us know he's maybe half joking. I have a feeling Scott's Not the biggest Kirby fan.
That's
And
fine. Everyone's happy. That's fine. I love, it's very
okay.
different. Very different.
But he follows up by saying, great floor panel in the upper right, which we're talking about, of course, and love that seahorse monster thingy in the bottom right. So
yeah, I like that too. I wanted a Kirby Monster too, so that's kind of why I liked it. It's the Prava boat, but it's also Kirby Monster.
Yeah, for sure. CJ says, so I agree on the interiors, Ruben, just not all the covers. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really looked through the covers in ages, to be honest. So I'd have to re-look at them to see if I agreed with that or not, So yeah, but I'll take your word for it. Yeah. If they're not quite as nice on the covers, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. That's for sure. I think we all know why. So Rick says he needs a worthy pillow. I'm actually also I've been in need of any new pillow for years. Mine's flat like a pancake. No wonder my upper back and neck are always sore. But I don't think I'll be getting the Thor pillow. Let's see. Yeah, and so CJ says, yeah, great page, absolutely. Yeah, and Murdoch, good to see you, Murdoch. Thanks for dropping in. Always love the colors on these. Do you really? That's so interesting because I was okay from a nostalgic point of view when I look through the actual comic book because I find that the colors on newsprint are kind of like okay, but I don't like them like this is a scan from the like a digital or whatever edition.
Digital book, yeah.
And it's so white when you have these colors on like a really white background. For me, I'm not a fan. But hey, it's a matter of taste, So that's cool. I'm glad you like it, Murdoch. And CJ also says the dynamic Kirby dynamic watered down with Vinny scratchiness. Nah, man, but not maybe on some of those covers like you were talking about. I don't know. For the most part, I loved that era of Thor with the Vinny things. So yeah, can't say anything bad in general about that stuff, that run. And yeah, exactly. That's what I said. Exactly, Marcus. Yeah, this was from the digital version. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the, when they use the original coloring and they use it on the digital versions or even on the reprints when they don't recolor and they reprint on that white glossy paper. Oh, I just find it terrible looking. It just horrible. Yeah, I'd rather they reprint it on newsprint, to be perfectly honest. Hey, Stevie B. Thanks for providing a soundtrack while I peruse the CAF Live art being offered. Okay, glad we can help.
Now the soundtrack for your life. For your collective life.
That's funny, CJ. Nice. Crack is whack. That's the famous. That was the famous quote from Whitney Houston, I believe, when she was denying that she was a crack addict. Crack is whack. Oh, that's so funny. Vinny could have hidden Nina's in Thor's arms. What's Nina's? Is that like a? What's Nina's? Nina's in Thor. Marcus, man, you're always putting things out there that go over our heads, out of context. Could have hidden Nina's in Thor's arms. I don't know, man. Let me know. Jay, you confused as I am, or?
Yeah, I don't get it. I'm sorry, Marcus.
Sorry, bud. Yeah. Oh, is that related to? He's saying Al Hirschfeld art.
Oh, Al Hirschfeld. Oh,
yeah, okay. But I like Hirschfeld's art actually. His pen and ink illustrations are beautiful.
Yeah.
But I still don't know what that means. What does Nina? What's Nina? I'm sure Marcus is busy typing and letting us know. Hey, James. Hey, just jumped on YouTube. Have to watch this on Rewind. Hey, Jason. Thanks for all the collector interaction on CAF.
Hey, James. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Very cool. James, you should come and shoot the shit with all of us here in the studio with me sometime. And Mikhail, too. Let me know if you ever want to. Let me see who else we got. Stevie, thank you. Okay, and Marcus, of course. It was Herschel's daughter's name. Thank you. I wouldn't have known that. And he hides the name Nina in his art.
Oh, okay. I see what he's talking about. He could have fitted it probably like on the back of his arm, where like the some of the shading and stuff is saying he could fit it in there because he's expressionist.
Yeah, and that's.
I get it. I get what you're saying now.
Yeah, thanks thanks for dropping that, Stevie B. That's really cool. And you too, Marcus. And now when I look at the Heritage Illustration auctions and I'm looking at the Hirschfeld art, I'm gonna have to remember to always look for the name Nina in the art.
I'm gonna go look at some online now.
That's
crazy.
His name is Nina. He lives on the second floor. Classic, CJ. Classic.
Good song.
Yes. That was a good one. Hart says, new Ruben show title, Shit Shooting Rube. Because you know how much I like to shoot the shit. Exactly. Oh, that's awesome.
Shit Shooting Rube. All right.
Yeah, it's how Scratchy Vinny inks.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it now. Once I look at the arm, I totally get what you're saying.
There we go. Okay, good night. Good night, Vivian. See you later. See you later. Thanks for supporting me as always. Thanks for saying and being hello and being kind to everybody as always. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, so yes, very cool. Thor, he says after he slipped away for a while and returned. I'm trying to call. I like to call these guys out on certain things. Just I like to have laughs all the time, you know. I like to call them out when they pretend they've been around the entire duration of the show, but I can tell when they've snuck away for a while to do other things. I like to call them out, but they know it's all in good fun, you know. Still beautiful, yes, absolutely, man, absolutely. And all the good nights. There we go. Nick, you really like Vinny, correct? Well, I do. I mean, again, on Thor. And good night. Oh, look at that. Very nice of you, Nick, to wish my wife a happy birthday. There you go. Thank you. There you go, honey. It's kind of like your whole weekend was a birthday. I hope you enjoyed it. And Hart, wow, my feelings are hurt. Yes, exactly. No, your feelings are hurt. Exactly. There you go. You can take it. Okay, so very, 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 very cool. Love the Kirby. Had to put a Kirby in there. See, like I said, Jay, you know, I wanted to, with only 10 pieces, I wanted to kind of put a good spread of things, right? So Marvel and DC, and you know, more like 80s, our era of our childhood, you know, so 80s kind of stuff. But then I'm like, ooh, if he's got Silver Age, let's get some Silver Age as well, you know, and try to mix it up, like I said, you know. Yeah. So there you go. All right, everybody, let us check out the next piece. And this one is Avengers 83. Let's go back to the very beginning of the Bronze Age. Jumpy Son of Tom Palmer, one of my favorite duos of all time. My year of birth, so very, very, very fun because of that. But Claw, Black Panther, you know, those battle scenes. And I love the first panel, the way that the Vision is all in tune, essentially, I guess you could say. I love that. So cool. And I love the Masters of Evil. So it's cool that one of the members is there as well, you know? Yeah.
And Vitam. This is Vitam's birth page.
Yeah. Is that a birth page?
No, Vitam. I'm just joking. The onomatopoeia. It's just
okay. Yeah. So tell me, first of all, I don't remember, how long-ish have you had this one?
I got this one like 2018 or 19. Not too long. I got this from Albert Moy. I picked it up from him when I realized that I really wanted to get a Buscema Palmer page from the first run, and I realized they were starting to disappear off all the dealer sites, and so I kind of I had my eye on this one for a while, and I decided just to pull the trigger on it, just to get in the collection.
Hart is, I don't know if did I make a mistake? Are you talking about the number of the issue, or are you talking about something else completely, Hart? Because I think it's 83.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it says at the top. It's not like when I get the scans from people, it's not like I go and verify that the editor didn't make a mistake on, writing it at the top. So hopefully you're talking about something else and that it's just going over our heads. But anyways, you'll let us know in a moment. And then he says black and white. So number 80, black and white. Not sure what you're talking about. Clarify, please, if you don't mind, Hart, because the only, yeah, definitely a cool Quicksilver panel, Rick.
I love taking that car out. This is great. That's one of the things that sold me on the page for sure.
Hey, James, you still there? James, did you hear me? When I asked you, when I said you should come on with me sometime, you and Mikhail maybe, or you alone, whatever, to do a, I don't know, a show and tell or a shoot the shit show. Let me know. Let me know. Especially as the beginner, the originator of the collector conversation show. It'd be cool to have to do something with you, you know. Yes, Buscema, Team Supreme, absolutely, for sure. And let me see here. James is also saying, sorry, that comment was random. I was watching some past pages and I forgot it was 30 minutes ago.
Oh, 30 minutes ago.
Okay. You can shoot some shit. Yeah, because James, I just really quickly, I was telling all the everybody earlier that you know, I've got the show and tell series, and I got this hangout series, which originally was just hanging out and shooting the shit, but then I allowed people to start showing art on it, whatever. And anyways, I was telling everybody that I want to get back. I'd like to get back to making the hangout series more about just shooting the shit and without showing any art like we're doing tonight. Yeah, but if you know, if you were more into maybe wanting to do a focus on your collection, I'd be happy to do a show and tell with you if you wanted to. But otherwise, I'd like to do, you know, if you're cool, if you want to just shoot the shit about the hobby, whatever, all kinds of topics, but not show any art, I'd love to do that with you too. That'd be cool. Yeah, let me know. Let me know. And so Hart says, Whirlwind is cornball villain. Well, I don't know. You know what? Like, yes, obviously, in a way, if you just think about himself on his own, yeah, it's kind of cornball. A lot of guys are cornball. Like, what was that guy from the Fantastic Four enemy group, Paste Pot Pete, for Christ's sake?
Oh, Paste Pot Pete, yeah.
Right? Like, come on, like, you doesn't get more cornball than like that's really cornball. But Whirlwind, at least, I don't know. Maybe it's just because we've all been familiar with him since childhood, but I find he still kind of looks cool. Like when he's in motion that way, it looks like, you know, I try to picture this happening in real life, and I'm like, man, if this guy's blasting at you at super speed, like it looks like those motion lines are indicating, like I'd be terrified, right? Like this guy'd kill anybody. So I don't know, but yes, obviously it's the idea is kind of cornball, but it's still fun, right?
As they're all pretty cornball. I mean, you know, in some sense.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Rich, what's up, man? Hey. Beautiful Buscema Palmer Avengers page. Love the Zipatone.
Zipatone. Love the Zipatone. Yeah.
Yes. And I just got a notification from one of my upcoming guests that he has emailed me. Why, John, why are you emailing me in the middle of my live stream? Aren't you watching? Yeah. All right. Okay. He's cool like the Rhino. Now, are you being sarcastic, Marcus? Because again, I have to say, Jay, you can back me up maybe on this, but I want you to be honest. I love the Rhino.
I like the Rhino too. I was always... but you know, it's a cheesy concept. He puts on a Rhino skin and becomes super powered. I mean, you know,
right.
Cornball, but I love him. But I still love him. I've always loved the Rhino.
Yeah. Exactly. I exactly. Oh, look at Hart. Now he's doubling down. Hart's doubling down. Whirlwind, blasting penis coming at you. It's a pretty pointy penis, my friend. I don't know. I don't want to. Don't ever pull down your pants anywhere near me. I don't want to see.
This one has wings too. Yeah,
what's going on there? Hey, see, there's another one. So Rich is like Whirlwind is more dangerous than Stiltman, but I love Stiltman. I know it's cheesy, but like visually, I think it's the visuals. I think what I loved about Stiltman was that, and here, let us come back to you guys. What I loved about Stiltman is visually, whenever you have like either a panel or on the cover, oftentimes where the artist would put the camera angle from like skyscraper altitude kind of thing. you know, and you're kind of looking down, and you could tell that this guy has, you know, extended those legs all the way up, you know, the height of a skyscraper. To me, that always
but he's just big. I mean, he's just a regular sized guy, though. Just big legs.
Right. You know, but yes, of course it's cheesy, but I loved it. I loved it. Yeah, having started reading it and collecting in '82, my first issue of Amazing Spider-Man was 238, the first Hobgoblin appearance. But and that was a gift from my sister, like either a birthday or Christmas gift. And she, with that gift, she also gave me as a 1 month old back issue 237, which was a cool Romita Jr. Stiltman issue. And so I had to read 237, obviously in order, right before 238. So the first Spidey book I read was the Stiltman issue. So maybe that's what it is, right?
All right, yeah.
Can't stop loving the Stiltman, I guess. I don't know. I think, yes. It's not like I don't recognize, you know, now when you think about it, like how cheesy and stupid the idea is. Obviously, you wouldn't want to see Stiltman using that same exact look and power in a movie, right? It would look ridiculous, right? But it seems to work in comics. I just find it still fun in comics, you know?
Yeah, he's no kangaroo.
He's no who? Oh, the kangaroo. Hey, to me, that's terrible. That's not only is it cheesy, but he doesn't even look good. Like what? Ugh.
He's a poor man's Toad. Poor man's Toad.
Yeah. I prefer Toad. And look, kids can pretend to be him running their heads into the
put on the helmet and run in the wall.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. CJ, are you being serious? You hate the use of Zipatone? Or are you saying you hate using it yourself when you're creating artwork? Because CJ's an artist, so yeah, let me know,
man. I like
man.
the looks, but I imagine it could be hard to use.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a pain in the ass because you've got to cut it out to the same shape that you needed in the panel, whatever. So it's definitely a pain in the ass to use. Yeah, it's not. I can't imagine it's fun, but it looks so great. You know, it looks so great. So, Whirlwind should have battled Will-O-the-Wisp.
Actually,
Rich is just on point with all his cheesy villains tonight, cheesy characters. You know, congrats on selling both of. Oh, you know, he's congratulating. Yeah, that's right. That's wait a second. Both? Oh, you had 2 Elementals pages, Rich. I saw you. I think I saw you sell 1, but anyways, okay. Well, I can talk about that another time. Space Turnip was the greatest villain of all. I don't remember who's that.
Turnip. I don't know. Space Turnip.
I've never heard of that. Stiltman, villain by night, window washer by day. Yeah, he'd be perfect, right? Thanks, Rick. Tattoos? I don't know what you mean by that, but myself. So you hate using it yourself. I got you. Okay. And let us not, man. You're on point. Like Rich, tonight is your night. Let us not forget the fearsome Gibbon. Yes. We get the point. I think we all get the point there, Rich. You don't have to keep throwing out those.
Mandarin. We've got Nanape. I guess they have a lot of 8-bit.
Yeah. The reason I dislike airbrush. Oh, okay. Makes sense, man. Makes sense. That is so funny. Space Turnip wasn't and Howard the Duck issue. Okay.
Howard the Duck, of course. Yeah.
Tattoos. Yes, CJ, exactly. Come on, it's been so long, I forgot about that. But yes, that tattoos thing, and it's not worth anything apparently if you already ended up using the tattoo. And I myself, I was thinking, you know, yeah, it was my first year collecting, but I was already, you know, being told, yeah, put them in bags and you're, you know, take care of them. They're going to be worth money in the future, blah, blah, blah. I was trying to take care of them. But I still thought to myself, I was like, I remember contemplating, I could use the tattoo. Nobody's going to care because it's not affecting the condition of the comic, right? And so I used the tattoo, you know. It didn't come to play. It didn't come to play in future years anyways because I ultimately sold off my entire collection at pennies on the dollar, no matter, you know, regardless, in like 1994. So I probably never got even my 60 cents back for that issue. But yeah, had I held on to the book for more years than that, yeah, I guess I would have gotten burned because I don't know how much value comes off of the book, but apparently it goes down if you don't have that tattoo.
Yeah, it's in that's slipping. Yeah,
that's it. So All right, Rich, enough there, Dr. Bong. Enough. Yes, that's another Howard the
Dog
Duck.
Bong. That's a great cover too. Bong.
CJ, what do you mean? What's that? Sorry, but when you guys put initial signs out of context, I don't know what you're talking about. The MVS and Hulk 181? What it was, I don't know what that is, man. MVS and Hulk. With you, we were talking about.
The cutout. There was a cutout that I think it was a send away.
Oh, the Marvel value stamp. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thanks to both of you. Yeah. You tag teamed Marvel value stamp. Exactly. Yes. I remember when I became a wheeler dealer and I started going to the local conventions to sell comics in like 1990, I guess it was probably. I had a copy of 181 with the value stamp missing. And I remember at a local show, that year I sold it for $30, the princely sum of $30.
$30. Yeah.
Yeah, that's without the value stamp. Yeah. So imagine it wasn't really worth much even with the value stamp, you know? So yes, exactly. Marvel value stamp. Thank you. Value shits the bed when. Thank you. All right, guys. Let us check out the next piece in this set of 10 that we got here tonight. And for that, we are going to. So what did we just last see? Wasn't the
I'm sorry?
Thor? Oh, we saw the Avengers. Yes, Avengers. Yes.
Avengers, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So for this piece, guys, we are going to see a killer page. Fantastic Four 250. Oh, by John Byrne, the double-sized issue. With at least one of the new X-Men for probably his first time, I would think, drawing one of the new X-Men after he left the new X-Men title, I think.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Wouldn't it be? I mean, this is probably 1982. This is 82.
Yeah,
right?
82.
Yeah. So it's 82. And yeah, I'm pretty sure he left X-Men in 80. I think it was 80.
It's just been after, yeah.
So yeah, it probably was. Yeah, but beautiful. Yeah, like awesome. I remember when you first posted it, I was so excited for you. I was like, oh my god, wow, what a killer page to get from Fantastic Four, you know?
Yeah, I was really excited to pick this one up. I like it because it's one of those ones that kind of does heavy lifting for me, where I can get different characters. Because I probably wouldn't be able to afford getting this page and then getting another X-Men page and getting a Cap Byrne page too. So it's got my favorite character basically from each. You know, my second favorite X-Men character. But yeah, you know, and also he drew everything on there. Every little bit of garbage, he just drew everything in there. It was just
cool
page. I like it.
Did you say that it's Colossus who's your second favorite X-Men character?
Yeah, next to Wolverine.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the fastball special is like my favorite thing in comics.
Yeah. Well, for a lot of us, yeah.
And he also made fun of that, so he did that too when he had the thing throwing.
Yeah,
with throwing Colossus, kind of his own take of the fastball special.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a knuckleball special, if you will.
Right. Yeah.
Because traveling backwards, the aerodynamics are not as great, so it'll probably have to go a lot slower than if you threw a fastball head first. Not looking backwards, basically.
Right.
Yeah. So that's very, very cool. Yeah, it's just phenomenal. So, remind me, did you get this through a dealer or through auction?
A dealer. I got this one from Glenn, actually.
Oh, from Glenn. Okay.
Yeah, the 2019, I want to say, I think I got it 2019.
Okay. Yeah, around that time. I remember it was like, about three-ish years. I was thinking 3-ish years ago, so it could be 3 or 4, Yeah.
Yeah, this was like one of the first big pages I bought, actually, like price-wise. I just really, really wanted to have it, and so it's the first time I actually sold a bunch of art and got myself something, larger.
Yeah. No, and it's a great one too. So.
Thank you.
Absolutely. How exactly did Colossus' blue leggings turn to his steel skin when he transformed? Blue leggings?
This isn't. Well, I guess I'll spoil it. That's not quite really Colossus. It's a scroll.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. I remember being the scroll, but I don't know what he means though. What do you mean by blue leggings?
I'm talking about like how the clothes, when he changed the Colossus, how his clothes change. I was just saying because it is a scroll change as opposed to like a true armor change.
Right. Well, whatever. Yeah, a lot of those transformations kind of don't make sense. I think it's more about the suspension of disbelief kind of thing. You just have to kind of just go with it kind of thing. And
yeah, it just happens. But yeah, it's a comic book.
yeah, that's it, you know. And yeah, CJ loves the 3-panel layout. Yeah, well, sure, it allows for much bigger, more explosive imagery, right? So makes it more exciting.
The thin little panel is cool. It gives good motion, like when he's throwing them. But it's interesting seeing that little tiny panel sandwiched between the two. I like that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's fantastic. And hey, what's up, Comic Art Channel, otherwise known as Jay. This is another Jason, as I mentioned earlier at the top of the show. How many Jasons we know? Yes, another one of the many Jasons in the hobby. So
yeah, why are we all collecting? I mean, we're Jason plentiful in the hobby.
Yeah, for sure.
Very Jason plentiful.
For sure. This is Jason Kim, for those of you who do not remember. Good to see you. Good to see you, Jason. Thanks for dropping in, dude. Rich. Oh, yeah. That's the... sorry. Hold on. In every issue of X-Men, the real Colossus had blue leggings before he changed from Peter to Colossus. Don't you mean... I don't know what you mean by that. Don't you mean he's wearing just, like, blue pants? Aren't they just a pair of jeans? Isn't that what they were? I don't remember.
And he bought new ones every time? Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. But anyways, yeah.
Change top panel really quick.
Yeah, look, the answer either way, Rich, I think from Jay and I, at least we are on the same page. I think we're going to go with just the suspension of disbelief. Just go with it, man. That's about it. That's what I say, you know? Who wants to explain something like that? Like, how much of a nerd do you need to be to really want to know the answer to that question anyways, Rich? Stevie B. So Stevie B, DC Books in the 1960s had a coupon for a free ride at Palisades. They did? At Palisades Amusement Park in New Jersey, which I'm sure castrated many a Silver Age comic. Really? I don't remember that.
The Jersey area, I guess, probably, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for dropping the knowledge. That's pretty cool. Wow. I'm surprised I never knew that, though. That's wild. TJ says, like Firestar and Iceman's transformations on Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Oh, yeah, I love that.
That was great. When Iceman would just ice himself up and just break out. I'm like, oh,
I love that. I love that. Oh, God, I love that. Yeah. Yeah, that was really cool. Just kind of like a Wonder Woman. I love what they came up with on the TV show, right? Spin, right? And then the explosive light happens. You're blinded momentarily, and there she is. I love that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, CJ saying his answer is Spanx or yoga pants. Yeah, but you're not answering how he turns into what happens to the pants. Marcus, same thing. He's wearing Lululemons. Yeah, sure. But what happens to them? Are they turning into part of his? Do they graft to his skin and turn into steel as well?
I think it's always alternate. It's always alternate dimension, isn't it? The same way they talk about how Hulk gets big, it's he shunts on weight from an alternate dimension.
Yay! I just made Rich angry. Look at him. Look, I made him angry. He says I'm nerd shaming him. That's good, man. Carlito, good to see you, dude. Thank you for stopping in, man. And yeah, Marcus says he eats them. There you go. I don't know. I still like my answer best, but whatever. We'll go with all of them. Leave it up to your imagination. How about that?
All of the above.
Yeah. Okay. So, everybody, let us show this next piece. Okay, so listen. Jay, by the way, let me ask you. I guess I should have asked you before the show, and I usually do, and I forgot. What's your time limit? You gotta go at a certain time or anything?
I do have to go not too long. I'm actually packing. Funny enough, I'm picking my daughter from college tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow. You're getting Maddie from you're going to drive there to bring her back?
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's her big day to come back.
Wow.
First year's done.
Okay. Let me know right now how much time. What's our max? What do we got left?
Well, how much time do you think you're going to go for?
No. Forget about that. Just let me know honestly. Don't be shy. Let me know how much.
Well, to be honest, not too much longer if that's okay. But I don't mess up your stream though. So
yeah, but not too much. Could be 5 minutes or it could be 20 minutes. Like I don't know. Like let me know.
Oh, let's say like 10, 15 minutes. Is that cool?
Okay. Yeah.
Is that okay? Is that
no? That's perfect. So what we're gonna do is we're at the And there we go. Okay, Jason, got a split. Good night and good week all. Thank you again.
Thank you for my other Jason.
Another Jason. Yes, yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it as always, Jason. Have a good week.
You have to do an all Jason episode. You have to do one episode where it's all Jasons. I'll come back.
I honestly don't laugh. I honestly have wanted to do again another series that I have is a comic art roundtable. And I've been wanting to do a roundtable. I thought about doing a roundtable with only Jasons.
Do a Jason panel, yeah. Do a Jason panel. Why not?
So I thought that'd be fun. So you never know; it could happen. But let's see. Nerds get. Hold on. Now I think they're all gonna laugh at me now. Rubén, the needs explanation now. God damn it! Yes, that's my long nickname. Nerds get the chicks. There you go. So, exactly. So you don't have to be. You don't have to feel bad that I shamed you. You know. Rubén the shamed. There we go. Oh, now they're letting me have it. Or he balls them up and put up an impressive bulge.
Oh.
Hey, I'm going that with Colossus. I'm going with that one. Marcus takes it. There you go.
There you go.
TJ calling me Rubén the shamer. Oh gosh. Oh, you guys are crazy. DC the capper. John discrimination. Oh, we're discriminating against Johns now. Council. Oh, there we go. Yes, good idea. Yeah, the episode.
Council of Jasons. Yes.
Council of Jasons. Oh my god, that's hilarious. There you go, James. There you go. Yes.
I think it'd be great. I think we should do a Jason panel. That would be
and Jason and the Argonauts. I love that one. Good one, Stevie B. Good one. Okay, so
you can do that Spider-Man meme. We can all point at each other. You do that. Point at each other.
All right. So what I was going to say, Jay, we only got one piece to show left, and so we'll show it right now, obviously, and then with the whatever time you have left, tell us as much as you can before you need to leave about, we'll go into what we wanted to go to earlier about, you're getting into art. If you have to leave out the part about your dad, then so be it. But yeah, you'll tell us. But let us show the piece, and then we'll finish the show by talking for a few minutes. How's that?
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Oh, and before we do that, CJ says, "Are all the Jasons in the same age group?" Not necessarily. Well, more or less, aren't we all kind of in the same age group anyway?
I'm 46, so I guess we're all kind of around the same group.
Yeah, I would think there's a good chance. Yes, absolutely. Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, especially on a show on a round table where I typically only have like 3 other people. It'd be easy to get 3 people around the same age. Yeah, 3 Jasons. Yeah. So we'll see. I'll have to, like I said, I'm not joking when I say I've been thinking about that for a long time. So any parting wisdom, Jason? Hold on. We'll show the piece, and then before he parts, yeah, he'll tell us a little bit about his sort of background, and that's it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And Jason Kim says, yeah, pretty damn close in terms of the age. So yeah, there you go. Okay. So let's see that last piece first, everyone. And for that, it's one of those 3 slide pieces. I got to show it in 3 slides for better viewing. So first one is so you can see the side-by-side with the published version. And that's this beautiful Alex Ross, JLA, Liberty and Justice, double page splash, page 68 and 69 from 2003. And this here is a larger version of the published version. And then I'm going to leave it, because this is all about original art, I'm going to leave it here on the larger version of the original art, which has a yellowish tint to it. And so I was wondering, Jay, if you can tell us, is the original looking more like this in terms of color tint, or is it more like the published?
The first. That's how it looks more.
Like this one?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Good.
Oh, I think he's going to show us, everybody. I think he's going to whip it out here. Well, crazy words. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me take this off the screen, and let me put a different view so that we can.
There's a kind of a glare.
Hold on. I know it's getting heavy, but hold on.
No.
Here we go. Okay. Oh, wow, man.
There. A little bit better now. You can see it's a little bit more yellow tint.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
The
absolutely.
two colors a little bit darker. I like this darker too than the color print that's a little bit lighter. I actually like this darker a little bit, just like this, basically.
Wow. I mean, honestly, that's like so fantastic, man.
Okay, you crazy.
Put it down, man. Put it down.
Every face has an expression, and like every single tiny, every tiny detail is done. Like
yeah.
You got close.
What is that line going through it like a puzzle piece?
I'm sorry, the what?
There's a line going through it like a puzzle piece, a curved line.
Oh, that's the rope. That's Batman swinging over the crowd.
Oh, okay. I got you. Right. Yes. Sorry.
Batman swinging in, and they let it go over into the other piece too, and so it takes you into the composition, takes you over to Superman.
Yes.
And then the focal point's actually here. The most detailed point is actually her foot and where it hits. So he actually made the focal point down by her foot. Funny enough, so that's the most detailed point in the entire thing.
Wow.
And you got a different angles, so it still fits.
All right, put it down, man. I don't want you to get exhausted. I know how heavy those things are, and I don't want you to mistakenly drop it or whatever. And I want you to see that.
I won't do that.
There's a ton of comments coming in too. So you got here. Let me put Jason's back here, or John, I should say. Sorry. Hold on. Jason said. Oh, okay. Yeah. No. Jason didn't say anything. It was John. So John says, "My goodness," and then Nick. Wow. TJ with a single wow. Jeff Wedding, a banger of an end piece. Well, that's why I saved it for last. I figured you'd appreciate the I always try to do that. You know, save the one that would be the most wow for the end. Amazing Alex Ross piece. Congrats from Rich.
Thank you.
Hart says very nice. CJ saying a stunner. James saying that is so good. And of course, Rich with the bam. And we got Hart, whip it good, break your mama's back. Yes, I know, Jeff. I had whip it out. Jason's.
Oh, hey.
This would look great on a van. It would. A certain type of van. You need some color in the frame, and man, oh god, that's another inside joke, and that's why he's putting the devilish face. John, excuse my drool. There you go. That's a great comment. That's more original than most. Ruben thought it was the scare. I did not, honestly, Marcus. What I thought it was, what it appeared to be from how I was looking at it and the way he was holding it, it looked like I was like, oh my god, is that a line where he cut through the two pieces? Is that how the two pieces join? Like some weird curved line? I was like, wow. Yeah, and then when you said, oh, that's the Batman rope, then my eyes properly focused, and oh, okay, I see what I'm seeing now. Yeah.
And it's one big piece, by the way. It's not obviously two taped together pages. Like it's one big page.
Right. Yeah. Yes, Scott. I know you take that over a Kirby any day. Exactly. Yes. CJ Ruben, the welfare of others' health concerns. Sure, I don't want him to break his back. Holding up that for that long like that, that's not easy, man. Those things weigh. Marcus says, a real Vanessa Williams. Save the best for last. Yes, indeed. And you're playing off my Vanessa Williams from Friday on Nikki B's show. So I did a little Vanessa Williams there.
You should see over here, like to my left, it's like all 70s and 60s.
Yeah, you don't get to see that, Rich. Sorry, dude. Oh, now you're gonna get to see. Oh, look at that. Cool.
I got a couple.
Wow. And Hart wants to know, when did you pick that Alex Ross piece from, and from who? Not that you have to answer if you don't want to.
I know. Funny enough, it's a good one. That was kind of what started me collecting original art, pretty much. Funny enough, at Comic-Con, and I got it from the art dealer. I'm forgetting his name right now. The guy, he's always there that runs the huge booth in the middle of San Diego Comic-Con. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now.
Alex Acevedo.
I'm sorry?
Alex Acevedo?
I don't think that's his name.
Oh, he doesn't have
he runs the Alex Ross booth in the center. If you go to San Diego Comic Con,
Sal Abenanti, the Alex Ross booth.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I actually picked up I picked it up right when it first came out. I got way back in the day, back in the early 2000s.
Oh wow, that's how long you've had that one.
Yeah, like I said, this is one of the first ones I got. This was
Wow.
the first like real piece. I got like a
Oh.
there's like I got like inexpensive Secret Wars page. At that time, it cost nothing. It was like $100 page. So I went from $100 page Secret Wars, and I picked this up because I just loved it.
Wow. Although way cheaper back then than today, that's for sure.
Yeah, I got like literally. I was the first person to get it, so I just didn't wait. It was more than I'd gotten before, but I loved his work. I felt like it was gonna grow, so I feel like I wasn't gonna be throwing money away. I wasn't gonna sell it, but just loved the piece, and I like one and done pieces from artists, and I felt like a one and done piece for me. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. West wants to let you know it's a very cool man cave. Hey, West, what's up, dude?
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. The two guys backing me up. There was Sal Benanti, absolutely. Real quick, I guess we're not going to get much of a story from you.
I do
this time, but Jason, do you have a Spider-Man web shooter toy from the 70s too? I had them as a kid, but I lost it.
I do. If it's right here. Pull it out.
That's what you did. Wow. Have a good night, Stevie B. Oh, wow. And still in the mint package.
Is that what you're talking about?
Wow, that is it. That is it. Wow.
I've been collecting this stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff I got it a long time ago.
Take care, Stevie B. Thanks for dropping in, man. And have a good week yourself also. Yes, for yourself. Thank you. Sal was more expensive than Lisa Bieterstadt. Yeah, for sure. I remember when Lisa was his rep, and when I first got in like around 97, and I found the website, and not like this is much of a story, but I remember thinking, $250 for those Marvels pages? Man, that's a little much, man. I don't know, like, because of course I was picking up in 97, I was picking up Silver Age Justice League pages for $75,
Right.
So
yeah.
kind of like $250 for something so modern, it just seemed like really expensive, I
was buying the comic book for $5 because I didn't want to spend so much on the art.
Right. Another question. Jason, where are you picking your daughter up from? Wow, that's personal.
That's okay. Bard College up in upstate New York.
Bard. Okay.
I'm in Maryland. I'm outside of DC, so it's a healthy drive.
Yeah, there you go. Wow, so cool. Yes, I had one of those back in the day too. Yeah, the spider shooters. Yeah, mine broke actually. I remember mine broke. I think I used it too much or something.
I had another one I played with too. That's the one I didn't play with. I did have one that broke. I had like a crappy $4 bin or $2 bin one I picked up back in the day. Yeah,
CJ wants us all to know that that's where Steely Dan is from.
I knew that. She's a big fan of Steely Dan, actually. My daughter told me that. I know.
Maddie is a Steely Dan fan? Like she's an old soul? Or just for Steely Dan?
Her first concert was Rolling Stones.
Nice! Wow! Oh,
she's huge into new music. I mean, we go to festivals. She's a Firefly, but she likes old music too.
Wow! Oh, that's awesome! What a cool daughter you have. Holy shit!
Stevie Nicks up to Cage the Elephant. She likes the whole thing.
What? Wow! That's a girl after my own heart. Wow, what a great daughter. My daughter, she's turning 14 soon. She loves music, but even though I played the good stuff, the classic stuff in the car all the time, constantly from the time she was born, she did like it. Like she liked Queen. I mean, when she was 8 years old, I took her to a Queen concert. But as she's gotten older, it's more like hip hop. Like all the little sort of teenagers listen to more hip hop stuff or whatever, which is fine. But I wish she also sort of still grasped that older classic stuff. Yeah, she doesn't seem to be, what are you gonna do? But I wanted to show real quick. Marcus. Sorry, Marcus. Yeah, she didn't respond to people exactly. She did that to me. I was one of those people. Kind of upset me, and I just thought it was really unprofessional. And then she got mad at me when I kind of called her out, like, hey, like, hello, like, I just want to know if this stuff is available or what's happening, and I was following up on an email that I had sent and not gotten a reply to. And then finally she replied and kind of telling me off, like, in a kind of mean way, like, oh, this is not my full-time job. You relax. And I'm like, okay, but it looks like professional website. You're representing a famous artist.
Right.
You gotta, it may not be your full-time job, but you still have to handle it like a professional, right?
Yeah,
It's not my fault you have a full-time job, like, and you can't, like, if you can't handle it, let somebody else do the job. Like, don't not answer to emails, let them go constantly unanswered, and then get mad at the person when they follow up asking, hey, hello, are you there? Is anybody still, you know? But yeah, she's just kind of.
Well, you see why Sal came in. That's probably why Sal came in.
I would say so. I guess so. TJ, 250 in 90s is like 1,200 in today's dollars. That's probably only if you go by the rule of inflation. Hobby inflation is way different.
Way more. Yeah.
Economic inflation, right?
Maybe factor that, right?
I don't know if you're joking about this, but if this is true, I really need to know. Or is this a joke? You must be joking, right?
I'm very gullible. I'm gullible, so I'll fall for it if that's the truth, because I am gullible.
No, he followed up with a no joke comment. What?
Wait, was it different Chevy Chase? Is it the Chevy Chase we know? Is there someone else named Chevy Chase, or is that the comedian Chevy Chase? Really?
How could we not know? How could music fans not know? Marcus is a big music fan too. He's got a wide taste in music. Marcus, did you know about that? Because what?
My wife has my phone, so I can't even check it.
Wow. Okay, I might have to look that up after. That's crazy. Thank you for dropping that knowledge. If it's indeed confirmed knowledge. The town Berrytown is
Berrytown.
hard. Okay. Harry Styles is better. I don't know about that, but Two Life Crew, Van Life. Chevy Chase was? Wow. CJ would know. He's a big Steely Dan fan. Wow, that's crazy. I'm thinking before they became famous. Is that what it is? So he already had
the drummer. I didn't even remember. I had no idea that Chevy Chase even was involved in music. I had no idea.
Right. Me too.
That's random. Thank you. I'm gonna drop that on someone else. I'll give CJ from the internet credit for that when I pass it along.
Yeah. Hold on. Hoarder's Hide. So Scott says Chevy Chase did not play drums for Steely Dan. Oh, he's arguing with you guys now, but he used to play with Donald Fagen and Walter Becker in the college band, the Leather Canary. That's going more along the lines of what I was saying. Maybe before they got famous, before they were known as Steely Dan and went by a different name, possibly. That's kind of what I.
How about that name though? The Leather Canary. That's a really weird band name.
Because guys who were saying, like CJ and Rick, I gotta say, not that I don't want to believe you, but what Scott Hoarder's Hide is saying, that sounds very particular and specific, too particular and specific to be wrong. I would be more inclined to believe that it's close, even if he's not exactly correct. I would say the truth is closer to what Hoarder's Hide's saying. That's what I would think. CJ is saying, yes, they were just Becker and Fagen together. Okay, well, yeah, okay. So I would have to say Scott's more right on that. You can't say he was drumming for Steely Dan, because that really implies that when Steely Dan was a thing, you could find a record somewhere of seeing Chevy Chase in the back on the drums,
But it's pretty close. I mean, it's pretty close. Like iteration, yeah.
It's still a cool tidbit of fact, a cool factoid, if you will, obviously, but not quite the way they were saying it. But yeah, it's still cool for sure. Well, calling Chevy Chase a comedian is kind of like an insult to comedian. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, so listen, it's look, guys, I wish Jason's got such a great background story. And look, guys, listen, this is in my defense, okay? Here, I'm sorry, it's so weird to see myself so tiny. Let me come back here and let me show both.
There you go.
Okay. Right. Yeah, so in my defense, what I was saying at the top of the show about making the Hangout show go back to reverting to the old ways of just being about chatting. Let's just chat. Not only is tonight a great example of the main reason why, but also it's not only that, but it's also because, was it last week or the week before? We also didn't get with John, okay? John Wynn. It was a fun show, yes. But because of his time limit of 2 hours where he had to leave, and we showed all that artwork. Yeah, it's fun and great and everything. But I like to get to know collectors. I want to talk to collectors and know more about them. I want you guys to learn more about them. And I don't know if you guys even noticed, but nobody said anything in the chat. But I never even got to ask anything about John. Like, we never heard anything. He didn't tell us anything about his background, how he got into comics and ultimately original art. And unfortunately, if it wasn't for the fact that Jay, of his own volition, sort of spoke up a little bit earlier in the evening about bringing up his dad as a collector, if it wasn't for that, we'd be in the same boat 2 weeks in a row, not being able to get any information, background information, to get to know my guest a little bit better. And think about it. If this was a true hangout without having to show the artwork, we would have gotten the story. We would have had plenty of time to get Jay to tell us in as much depth as he would have wanted to and hear all the story. And that's why, again, I really want to get these hangout shows back to just let's make it about chatting, so we don't run into these issues where, again, like I said, I'm kind of pissed. Like, these are two guests I really want people to get to know a little bit, and that's 2 guests in a row, 2 great guys too that I really like a lot. And we didn't get to, we had a good time. We chatted, we shot the shit and had a few laughs. That's all great and well. But I also want to get to know the people and get you guys to know to know them. So that's, I hope you guys understand now, anyways, why I want to get the Hangout series back to just being purely about shooting the breeze. This is it, because now we're not going to get to hear these great stories that Jay would have been able to tell us, because he's got to go now.
And they were good. They were really good too. Oh,
and I know they are. See, now he's rubbing it in, right? But real quick before we close out, because as you guys know, man, the show is about all of us. And like I said, it's the fact that I make the show about all of us. You guys know by now. That's why my episodes go as long as they do. The rewind people may not realize, because maybe they only tune in for a few minutes here and there, and they don't realize how much I interact with you guys in the chat, right? But you guys who come in all the time, you clearly know by now. That's why my shows go 3 hours or more sometimes. It's because it's an interactive show where we're all talking. That's why they go long. But that's why, even with a 3-hour show, if we're showing art as well, there's information that we may not get to, and that sucks. I really hate that. And especially after waiting a year to get Jay on the show, it really sucks to me to not be able to have him share his story with us.
What if you use art and ask them to pick art that speaks about who they are? Like, pick art that tells me something about you, and then turn into a conversation. That way, you can kind of do both at some point.
That's way too highbrow for most people. They're going to be like, "What? What are you talking about, man? Just show me a few pieces. Grab a few pieces from my gallery, and that's it."
Yeah.
I appreciate what you're saying, Jay. Don't get me wrong, but most people are not that deep in terms of thinking about the art that way. So that's not going to work for that reason. Really quick before you go, let me just get some last comments. Okay, so Steely Dan. I'm not going to go any more Steely Dan stuff. Chevy Chase stuff. There we go. Maki Poo making my point for me, or at least backing me up. Thank you, Maki Poo. The most interesting part is getting to know the collector on a more personal level. Yeah, I couldn't say it better, right? Well, sure, but like I said, Marcus, I would love to have anybody whenever they want to come on. But when it's a guy like Jay here, who, like I said, I've been trying for a year, and for one reason or another, whatever, he's busy, he's got his own life. It took a year to finally get him on. When can I ever get him on again? You know what I mean? So that's the thing, is I don't want to waste the opportunities, because you never know if somebody would ever want to come back, or even if they want to, can they? Can they do it? So that's my issue. Yes, we all want to hear stories about people throwing their collection and burning barrels. We do. It's fun, right? Just means he needs to come back. Exactly. I know. I get it. But you guys, it's like I said, with some people, it's not as easy as you think it is. scripted. I'm not sure. That sounds more to me, Jay. Not sure what he's referring to there. Jeff, okay, is that the solution? Ruben is too controlling with picking the art. No, I'm not doing it. I'm doing it. Are you kidding me? I don't know if you're being serious right now. Okay, you're laughing, so I know you're not being, you're not being serious. Because when I pick the, I just said, in case somebody else is thinking the same thing and being serious, I want to make it clear again. I've said it before, but I'll make it clear again in case some people don't know that I only pick for those people who are having trouble sort of nailing down a date where they can finally come on. And I feel like, okay, it's kind of hard to get this person on. Let me do most of the work. So they only have to just show up on that day and time, That's why when I pick, that's why I pick. Because I feel like, okay, maybe they'll be more into doing it if they don't have to do anything and I'll do all the picking. That's the only reason. Believe me, that's more work for me. I don't want to have to be the picker. Plus, I'd rather the guest pick because then they put some thought into it. When they're picking, they picked it for certain reasons. Why they're going to have reasons why they want to talk about each individual piece. So of course, I'd rather they do it, but I don't mind doing it if I feel like it'll be easier to get the guests that come on, and less work for them if they're very busy. You decided story or art makes for a show. Well, thank you. Thank you. Like I said, I really do feel like having one show that's all or mostly about art, because, with the show and tell, we still fool around because we all know each other. We still, it is mostly about showing the art, talking about the art, but we fool around a lot too, but at least if we keep that show on its own and make this hangout show strictly chatting, there's a little bit of both, right? And like I said, I leave it up to the guest. Let them choose which one they want to do. So that's it. So stop spending so much time talking about cheesy villains. Rich says the guilty party. Rich, exactly. Thank you. Maybe the guy is dull, so show more art. Yeah, but I'm not gonna. First of all,
show the art.
Marcus, that clearly going into it, you never know for sure. Somebody could surprise you. But obviously, I'm asking people who I know, and if I don't know them that well, I still think they'll probably be okay. But yes, you're right that you never truly know. But whatever, you go with it. There's always a little bit of a risk that it could turn out to be not how you expected, and maybe the guest ain't going to be very talkative or whatever, But still, I like the idea of having the choice of let the person say, hey, you want to show art? Show and tell. You want to just shoot the breeze and have a good time. It's more loose and relaxed and have more laughs. Then it's just hang out, So Jason is saying that's the longest 10 minutes I've ever spent. He probably is. Or two more guys. Ruben, what's up with the bikini girls behind you? How have I not noticed that before?
Oh,
first of all, they're in the nude. They're just wearing underwear, and it's a 1968 book cover. I don't know why you've never noticed that before. You're not very observant, I guess. And Marcus, if the art is already on CAF, enough surprises, then do the interview. Right. Yeah, right. Okay. Last thing, everybody. Aside from remembering to go check out Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific, Nikki B Show, the EXP. Let me remind you here, that's for everybody. Here we go. So Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's this Friday and every Friday. Other than that, please, everyone, please come back next week when I do my first episode of the, I guess, I'm not sure if it's officially relaunched, but kind of relaunched Hangout series, going back to the old ways of no art being shown. Although my friend will be back most likely to do a show and tell, so we still can show his collection. But check this out. I think it's one of my favorite thumbnail graphics that I've created in this last year for all the shows I've done. Check this out for next week, everybody. Sunday, Comic Art Hangout with Jared Simmons and the live chat crew. That is all you guys, of course. You guys make these shows. As I always tell you, that's going to be the 19th episode of Hangout. And look at him, man. He looks like Hercules. He's my first guest who can pass for a superhero himself. Real beautiful piece of art. But yeah, we're going to hang out and we're just going to shoot the breeze about the hobby. So yes, that is next week.
It's like Lou Ferrigno's little brother.
Yeah, exactly. So bikini girl blind spot. Yes, he does. That's okay. So much, Jason, Ruben. Oh, thanks so much, Ruben, Jason, and the chat. Thank you all. Exactly.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun.
Have a safe trip, Jason. And yeah, that's it, everybody. So thank you, Jason. Stay with me for a minute, will you, please?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it as always. Like I always say, you guys make the show what it is. It's my guests as well, of course, but without the live interaction, I wouldn't want to do this. So thank you guys who come in every week in and week out and hang out with us and just make it the great fun time that it is. Really, really appreciate you all, right? So thank you, and yeah, we'll catch you guys all next week, hopefully. All right, thanks.
Thank you, guys. That was great. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for having me on, Ruben.
And of course, thank you, Jay. All right, guys. Catch you guys next week.